Live from New York, the show is wishing you a happy Veterans Day from all of us.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
We're happy to be here. We'll have vignettes and shout-outs from servicemen and women from around the country, so we're very excited. We are starting off today, Eagles over Green Bay. Did they knock the Packers out of contender status? And we discussed, Brou, you should be feeling a little bit nervous. Meanwhile, Mavs fire Nico Harrison.
I love it.
What does this mean for Luka? What does this mean for Cooper Flagg and the Mavs? And what does this mean for NBA history? And finally, Chiefs are on a bye. Will there be a new quarterback at the top of Mahomes Mountain? Alongside Chris Broussard, I'm Kevin Wilds. Nick, changes on the mountain?
Oh, yeah, there's always changes.
in general,
but if you do remember last week atop the mountain, I know for you've maybe blacked it out because it was so traumatic.
Well, that's the question.
It was Matt Stafford, and he had another perfect game. So I would be surprised if Stafford got knocked down the mountain.
The question is this: do you trust what was in the doc?
That's a great point.
I really think that's a question going forward now.
Yeah.
Not for me,
Bro,
but
can I tell you something?
I know there's some doubt.
Wilds, while you're focused on that, Wilds is commissioning artwork.
So what?
Well, I don't know. The executive producer of the show, Hubs,
Who goes the extra mile?
was on his hands and knees
I saw him today.
painting
Okay,
for Kevin Wilds today.
For the record, neither Nick nor myself has ever had Hubs paint.
Yeah, he's in a smock.
He's going a little.
He's
It got him
breathing
going
in
way
fumes.
beyond
He's
the
doing all
Call
this.
We
of
can
Duty.
discuss in the post-show meeting with Gianna's take. But for the record, he's like, I want to paint the door.
Yeah.
My response was, no. He's like, well, have you paint the door? And my response was no. The guy just wanted out of the office. That's it.
I mean,
And he didn't prime it, for the record. It's just raw wood. I'm like, bro. He's like, I got to go prime it. Watch. It's going to be like a week-long endeavor. It'll be like Dusty's dental appointments.
okay, wow. Shots fired.
Not shots fired.
Shots fired.
Hey, I'm at the dentist a lot.
Wild
Yeah.
stuff to work for.
Yeah.
He got you going the extra mile, taking shots at you
Yeah,
on
my
national
goodness,
TV.
man.
You start the 10-7 Eagles victory. Glass half full, defensive battle. Glass half empty. Jalen Hurts had a touchdown, lost a fumble. Here he was last night.
Finding a way to win here as a collective group in this environment on Monday Night Football. It's a big time win. That's a big testament to our team. Defense played lights out. Won the situational battle. Showed up in the end of the game when we could have avoided putting them in that position. But I feel like when there was a mishap, we had each other's backs, and that's all you can ask for.
What did the Eagles prove last night?
They'll always be interesting.
That's true.
And they are kind of the perfect team for today's media ecosystem and the city in which they play. Because there'll always be, it feels like, some measure of controversy. These days, typically courtesy of a replay of the tush push, where it's like, oh yeah, jumped again. There will more often than not be a little bit of lunacy. Like, wait, Sirianni's doing what? I thought Troy Aikman might leave the booth to go have a stern talking to with Nick Sirianni when he decided to go for that 4th and 6 at the end of the game. There's often some ominous stories, which is I really enjoyed Troy and Joe, and it seems like they give us a little extra because all the play-by-play duos get info that they don't then share in those pre-production meetings. And when they were talking with Jalen Hurts and asking about his relationship with A.J. Brown, and then Joe just offers up, it's like, yeah, and I wish you could share what he told you after that story.
Joe went a little far. I bet Troy was like,
yeah, exactly. But it just so it will always have all of these peaks and valleys, and usually in a win. And so it's just, listen, if you guys remember after week 1 of the season, I was super down on the Eagles because I was like, ooh, that defense took a huge step back. The defense has steadily improved. The additions, clearly, most notably Phillips, mattered. And the defense more than carried the day. They are clearly an excellent team. They're the defending champs. They played a brutal schedule. They're 7-2. But the offense is weird. And the A.J. Brown thing is more than weird.
Yeah.
It's inexplicable. So it's just who they're going to be. And I just think it's going to continue on this saga of more often than not, they find a way to win. And you leave the game scratching your head like, what a weird team and a weird game.
Yeah, to me, they proved they are the team to beat in the NFC. Now, you might say, well, they're the defending champs, so of course. Yeah. But I think they went out and showed they're the best team in the conference. And actually, I think they're the best team in the league. Like, that was a great win. And you're right, the offense obviously left a lot to be desired. But defensively, they came out, and you mentioned the new additions, Jalen Phillips, 7 pressures. Yeah. They had trouble getting to quarterbacks. And now, all of a sudden, last night they get 3 sacks. They had been averaging about 2 a game. So, that's improved, at least for a night. And Nolan Smith had a sack. Yep. Phillips forced the fumble out Josh Jacobs late in the game. So, defensively, like you said, Nick, they're starting to grow. And then offensively, you're right, they're a little bit strange, but
I mean, it's more than a little strange, right?
Well, look, you have games where it's not clicking, and I know they have more. I don't think it'd be as talked about if A.J. Brown wasn't doing his little antics. If A.J. Brown doesn't come out this week and say anything, they're going to move right on. Like, this is a good win. Okay. I think this is a good win. This shows your quarterback, who always seems, when he needs to make a play, makes a play. He made the 36-yard touchdown pass to Devontae Smith. I mean, he came through. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not down on this win at all for Philadelphia. They went into another playoff team, Super Bowl contender, something. I think went into their house and beat them on their own turf. We know it was a grudge match between the two teams. So it was ugly. It was hard fought. But I'll take some of those. Okay.
I'm the Jalen Hurts guy on the show, and I'm the Drake May guy on the show. One's a lot easier than the other right now. And I'm not going to totally blame Jalen Hurts, although his numbers this game were not good, and there's passes that are off target that are not necessarily Kevin Petula's fault. But having A.J. Brown have 3 targets, one of them being the final play of the game, which was maybe an arm punt. I'm trying to maybe if this gets intercepted, we don't hate it because it's at the 1.
No, but the Green Bay knows not to intercept it.
Right.
I know, but sometimes you just grab it and I don't know.
No, it was an indefensible decision that I think Wilds was made because Sirianni was trying to be cute and have nip in the bud any potential A.J. Brown stuff.
It's we tried to go to it.
Not only
to win it.
But right. It's you weren't featured, but you won us the game.
That was the Cowboys script.
And it's right, and it's the only way Green Bay had a chance to steal it at the end. Like Brou, someone rooting for Green Bay, you were thrilled. They went for it.
Absolutely. But I don't think. You think he did that to appease A.J. Brown?
I think he did it because I thought it was an ego move by Sirianni.
I can agree with that, but to me, that's not going to appease A.J. Brown.
No, I agree with you. But
if he caught a touchdown to ice the game,
but the A.J. Brown stuff.
The game he tweeted the using me but not use, nothing's going to appease this dude.
At the end of the Cowboys
game, he could still be
I
got 3 targets.
It was the same, he was you know what, he didn't get a lot, but he got the most important one. That being said, again, am I a flag football championship winning coach? Yes. Don't lay it at my feet. I understand. But I do have some limits. But at the same time, Brou, it's how you were a great wide receiver. We don't even know if you were great.
we made the state playoff.
You made the state playoff. But, you've got a wide receiver's mentality. You're out there, you go You got to be able to draw up more than 3 targets for A.J. Brown. You have to. And I'm not saying I could do it, but I'm also not saying I couldn't do it.
Well, here's the argument as to not necessarily that you could do it, but that all of the coordinators before Patullo could. As far
Just draw. Hey, AJ, do you have your old playbooks? Can I see one?
So
what'd you like? That's good. Let's do that.
A.J. Brown's career with the Eagles prior to this year, 1 out of 47 games he had 3 or fewer targets. This year, 2 of 8. That's a problem. I think this graphic leads perfectly into this graphic, Brou, which is so this is A.J.'s career with the Eagles. Again, this is
first couple years there were great.
Yeah, leading the league in targets or something close to it, and a monster production. This year's fallen off. But all of that has led to this 3-and-out number, which can't happen. Look at the quarterbacks and teams, and the Eagles have the highest in the league. A third of their drives go 3-and-out. That is the same as the Broncos, who, by the way, won a 10-7 nationally televised game a few days ago. Now, they weren't playing the Packers, they were playing the Raiders, but we killed them for it. Right? No,
it's a big difference.
Of course it's a big difference. My point is but it's Bo Nix. It's rookie Cam Ward. It's basically rookie J.J. McCarthy / Carson Wentz. It's a little Burrow, a little Browning, and I'm sure Flacco's
won. I'm surprised.
Well, because the 4 games with Browning were so bad. That's what most of it, because obviously Flacco's been, he's been Joe Burrow 2.0. And then the Browns, who had somehow had bad Flacco, not good Flacco, and now Dylan Gabriel. And the Eagles, who have the most expensive offense in the league, their skill position guys have been healthy. And I know Saquon struggled this year and struggled again yesterday. He had the big
and he
catch.
had the big play.
But as far as him running the ball was another 22 for 60 or something.
I put that one on Packers defense.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Even
and
though
Lane
Micah
Johnson
Parsons is the worst run defender ever. There's something. Troy's and Joe's comments about asking, they were like, we asked Jalen about AJ's comments, and he would not say anything other than he wanted to win. And then Joe was like, and I wish we could talk about what he said after. It is more than ominous that, yes, there's a Patullo problem, but I also think Jalen's not looking for AJ the way he used to.
That's true.
And again, I agree with you, Brou. They're a great team, but this is weird. The offense is weird.
I don't think Jalen would if there are personal feelings. I have no idea if there are personal feelings between them or issues. I don't think Jalen would let that get in the way. I would assume those issues were there last year when obviously they went on to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think Jalen Hurts only cares about winning, but I also think you can approach winning different ways. One is let's make as many explosive plays as possible. If we make a few mistakes, so be it. We'll make up for it. Another approach is make no mistakes, be super conservative, and that the approach last night seemed to be, if it's not wide open, I'm not taking it.
Meanwhile, the Packers dropped to 5-3-1. Jordan Love threw for a little over 175, got sacked 3 times, lost a fumble. It just looked.
That was one of those.
That's what I mean. It just looked.
There are J-No moments here and there. I mean,
here he is after the game.
We're not getting any consistency right now. We're not getting into a rhythm. We'll have a good play here, and then we'll have a negative play. I think we're just kind of shooting ourselves in the foot right now and getting in the funk of, having some good plays and then not building off them properly and having a play that might hurt the drive and we can't overcome it. It's disappointing. It's frustrating. You feel like as an offense you're letting the defense down because they're doing such a great job.
First 7 games to last 2 games. We'll focus on last 2. 0-2. Team points are down 17. Passing yards down about 25. No touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and passer rating.
2 turnovers.
2 turnovers, sorry. And passer rating down from 113 to about 75, Brou. Are you losing any faith?
That was not a J-No game other than that strip sack. It was a J-No. He just didn't have it. There's a difference. And I am losing a little bit of faith. Look, the thing with him, and he mentioned the lack of consistency, that's him. You have no idea what you're going to get from game to game from Jordan Love. And maybe even they feel maybe from possession to possession. Like 2 weeks ago against Pittsburgh, he was phenomenal. You had and you've been kind of, not a little bit of a detractor. And even you were like, hey, that was awesome. I have no problem with him being on Brou's ballot that week. And then the last 2 weeks, he's been bad. And we've seen him be great for half a season and then bad for half a season and vice versa. So they have one problem. And I'm not saying it's just him, but the offense is the problem. The 3 losses, the defense gave up 10 points, 16 points, 13 points. You should win every single one of those games.
Everybody else does. Keep going. Just show my graphic about here's the league this year. When you allow 17 points or less, the Packers have lost 3 games. I think we can show it. The Packers have lost 3 games. They're 1-3 when allowing under 17. The rest of the league is 62-5, and the quarterbacks who have lost those games, you look at it and it's like, oh, okay, so it's guys we have real questions about, and Jordan, who's done it 3 times.
Yeah.
So
and the thing, you could obviously, it's interesting. Geno's had great moments.
Yeah.
Kyler's had great moments. So has Stroud. Yeah. But yeah, the defense is great, and they got to find a way to fix the offense. There are other issues. The offensive line hasn't been great. The run game, I think Jacobs is still great, but he just hasn't even averaged 4 yards a carry this year, so that's been an issue. But the success or failure of the offense always comes down to the quarterback, and he is just we have a graphic here. He's really struggled against the pressure. Oh. Like, that's been the main thing. And last night, he was pressured. So look at this. Versus no pressure, he's phenomenal. And a lot of those ranks are top of the league or second, third best in the league. And then the pressure ranks, you see he really struggles, pass rating. Those are near the bottom of the league. So, we see quarterbacks like that, Jared Goff and some others. But he's going to have to get better against pressure and be more consistent.
Go ahead, kiddo.
Well, I was going to show you this headline for your reaction. We were going to kick this around. It was going to be one of our main topics before Nico Harrison got fired. Why Packers Matt LaFleur might be coaching for his job after the loss. This took me as surprise.
It shocked me too, and then I thought about it.
Okay.
The last year with Rodgers, they missed the playoffs. 2 years ago, they're the 7th seed. Have a shocking round 1 win, but they're the 7th seed. Last year, they're the 7th seed. This year, it's them, Chicago, and San Francisco. At least one of those teams is going to be left without a chair, barring a collapse from one of the top 6 teams, which would shock us. It would shock us if Philly's obviously going to be in because of the division, Tampa, same thing. But if the Rams, Seattle, or Detroit, you know what I mean, miss out. There's 5. So there's 2 spots available for Green Bay, the Niners, who have just been consistently winning and have, a fortunate schedule, and Chicago, who I think is most likely to end up without the chair, but they get.
But they're fortunate, and they still gonna have to fight to make it. That 7th spot feels like it's right there.
Right, but so the question is that though, and why I think if they're the 7th seed, if the year Rodgers last year they were the 8th seed. Then they go 7 seed, 7 seed, 7 seed, and 2 straight years, 1 and done in the playoffs. When, keep in mind, the article talks about Gutekunst and LaFleur. Next year would be the last year on their contract, so you either extend or fire. Like, that's how the NFL works.
The owner said the leaders don't really believe in lame duck.
Right. But no good franchise wants your head coach on it. The Cowboys are the only team that's like, and the Bengals. Yeah. They're like, we'll let them do the final year. So I think that is, and I do think, Brou, I said it the day they traded for Micah. Jordan Love's the most intriguing player in the league. If Jordan Love this year is the 10th best quarterback in football, they can win the Super Bowl. If he's one of the 5 best quarterbacks in football, they should win the Super Bowl with that defense. Right now, he hasn't been one of the 10 best.
No.
And the offense, and now that you also have no Tucker Kraft, you worry about what the team's going to look like. But, I mean, that offense having 0 points into the fourth quarter is just unforgivable.
Jordan Love's passer rating Without Tucker Kraft, 92. With about 107. So
No, that's a huge loss.
All right, moving to the world of the NBA. Mavs owner Patrick Dumont was at his first Mavs game this year, heard the fire Nico chants, and finally said, okay. Nico out after 9 months after he traded Luka to the Lakers. Dallas 3-8 this year. Brou, your reaction to this news?
I remember saying, you guys probably remember the day after this trade was made, or I don't know if it was that morning whenever we were on Next. The only way to justify this trade was for them to win the championship within the next 2 years. Last year they didn't even make the playoffs. This year they're looking like they probably weren't going to make the playoffs. He was fortunate and lucky, really, that the ping pong balls bounced their way, and then a third way or a second way emerged for him to kind of work his way out of this trade, and that was if Cooper Flagg became, and I apologize for comparing him to white guys, but became Larry Bird or Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
And Cooper looks like he's going to be good, but he don't. And he may eventually become a Doncic.
Not at this time.
No, they came right into the league and right away were like one of the best players in the league. And he's not that. That was the only thing that could save him, because then at least you could look at it like, okay, we gave up a superstar future Hall of Famer for a younger one.
And I would have argued
we don't know at this
that
point.
shouldn't have saved him at all, because it's dumb luck.
It would have been luck, right. It wouldn't have been
It
his
wasn't
plan.
the plan. They
Right.
didn't. It's not like they got Cooper with one of the picks they traded Luka for. It was just dumb luck. But and I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
if you
no,
wanted
no.
listen, it's simply the worst move an executive has made in sports in 100 years.
It's hard to argue.
It's simply that.
I can't think of a worse.
And his
a worse
hubris and quotes after the fact, if the trade itself didn't fully do him in, they did him in. How many times do we have listened to defense wins championships? You're 3-8. You right now have the number 3 defense.
But what
in
do you?
basketball.
I hear you. What would you have rather him say? Like, if you make that type of trade, you got to make it with your chest.
No, fair enough. Then maybe it's not his comments. It's just the rationale. They have right now, this moment, the Dallas Mavericks have the 3rd best defense in the NBA, but they have the 29th best offense, so it doesn't matter. Because in professional basketball, the most important thing in the league is what Luka provides. Offense. Now, to win a championship, you also need defense, but you cannot. They built a team around Luka's skill set, and then they didn't have Luka anymore, and the team immediately falls apart. I also don't give him a pass on the injuries.
No.
The moment you trade Luka, Kyrie played 40 minutes a game for a month because he's the only creator. He gets hurt. You trade for Anthony Davis, whose biggest knock is his injury history.
He's played 14. Anthony
40,
Davis,
right?
14 out of 44 possible games.
And by the way, you now have to consider trading him.
Yeah, that would be the move I'd be
That's
looking to do.
interesting.
So this is
Just
what
try to go young.
I don't think people have fully realized not only what a disaster this is for Dallas, people know that, but the butterfly effect for the rest of the West. Because Dallas does not they have their own pick this year. And then in 2027, their pick goes to Charlotte. They don't own it. And in 2028, they swap their pick with the Thunder. And in 2029, their pick goes to the Rockets. And in 2030, they swap their pick with the Spurs. So the Mavs might
They're
be
swapping a first-round pick in 2030.
30 with the Spurs. And in 2.5 years, they're swapping with the Thunder. And the year in between, they're giving theirs to the Rockets. The 3 teams that are potentially going to be at the top of the West are going to have the Mavs first-round pick at the end of the decade.
Well, that's why, to your point, they should look to trade AD. See if there's a team that thinks it's close
and get
rid of AD. And honestly, they should look to trade Kyrie too. I mean, if they can, and Kyrie obviously is a great player. Again, a team that's close. See if you can get
Also, while we're at
then
it,
just go young.
Let's have Clay go back to the Warriors. I just don't. Poor Clay is languishing.
It's not working out.
Yeah. Listen. I mean this, and I know it's just sports, but it's not just sports. Like, people that love sports. And it really does impact like your mood and how you feel. And the ability to follow a team and follow a player. What this guy's hubris or ego or own basketball malfunction in his brain did to Mavs fans is one of the saddest things I've seen in recent sports. Sad is what I mean. We are used to in sports. There's a chance a player's going to get mad and demand out. Like we got it. We were prepared for that. But if you were a Mavericks fan, you were just like, can you imagine, KW? Imagine if in 2 years and 2 more top 5 MVP finishes, you wake up one morning and Elliott Wolf traded Drake May.
Yeah.
And it's like you just don't get to
Joe
follow
Burrow.
him anymore. Yeah,
Great, but hurt all.
For Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
I mean, okay, but no, but
it would help you.
Or just a defensive stalwart.
It just feels like it was something was stolen from you.
Yeah.
Because
It
one
felt like
guy,
it shouldn't be allowed.
Yes.
It sounds weird, but it's you're like kind of taking a piece of the community.
Yes.
That doesn't seem fair.
Franchises go decades without getting a Luka Doncic. Really.
Yeah.
Without getting that type of player. I mean, all this talk about draft picks and all that, it's all about getting a player like him.
Yeah.
And you got one, he's balling out, he gets you to the finals.
And he cried when you made him move.
Joe Burrow's talking playoffs. That's next on FS1 and Fox Sports Radio on Sirius XM.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. This Monday night, witness the end of an era. John Cena takes center stage for his final appearance ever on Monday Night Raw. One last match, one unforgettable farewell. Come celebrate the legacy of a true WWE legend. Monday Night Raw, November 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, only on Netflix. Be there for the moment everyone will be talking about.
Happy Veterans Day. Fox Sports proudly salutes our nation's veterans. That is why we are making Camo our cause this Veterans Day in support of the Honor U.S. Vets campaign. To donate and learn how you can help end veteran homelessness, visit go.fox/US Vets. Coach, you're here. You wanted to honor a veteran close to you.
Yeah, I want to honor my dad. Carmine Mangini was a proud member of the U.S. Navy and served in the Korean War.
Well, that's an amazing picture. The slight resemblance there, Coach. If I may honor once again my wife's grandfather, who's become my grandfather as well, Chief Master Sergeant William Abram Jones, who's still with us, still travels with us, hangs out when he comes to New York, and is now also a great-great-grandfather, and met his wife
amazing.
in the Air Force, did 30 years, and is probably watching right now.
And he still looks good.
He does. He does. He still does his 25 push-ups every morning.
Does he really?
Yeah, 95 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to honor 3 of the 4 most important men in my life, along with my brother, my 2 grandfathers, Burley Broussard, Leonard Beauregard, who were in World War II, and then my father, who was in Vietnam, Edward Broussard. They're all passed away now, but great men that molded me and shaped me. So
Excellent.
Salute to them.
Before we get back to the show, I wanted to send my thoughts to everyone from my hometown, Groton, Connecticut, submarine capital of the world. We also have the Coast Guard Academy there. So I wanted to, they're in my thoughts all the time, but I also wanted to say one other thing. When I was growing up, we always had kids that had come to school from different parts of the country because there's a lot of Navy families. So you get kids coming from San Diego, you get kids coming from Virginia. And I never realized until I became a father the shared sacrifice of the families of veterans and people in the military. Whether it's, if your mom is out and your dad's, holding down the fort, or your dad is out, which a lot of times the fathers would be out on submarines. And, my wife was gone for the weekend and I was lost. So the idea that you'd be out for, months at a time serving the country, it's a shared sacrifice. So happy Veterans Day to all the veterans and their families.
Beautiful, KW.
Oh, thank you.
You're such a sweet guy. KW got choked up saying that.
No, it's
You're
very
just,
nice.
such
I didn't
a
realize
nice
because
guy.
I was like a kid, and then I became a father. I was like, man, I forgot these dads would be out for months at a time, and it was just like normal because you got used to it.
Yeah.
And like once you're a dad, it's like, wow, it's a real sacrifice, a shared sacrifice for an entire family. And well, thank you for, I don't really deserve much. It was just shouting.
Yeah, no, it's very
all
nice.
the credit.
Yeah.
Back to first things first. Joe Burrow returned to practice yesterday and told Jay Glazer that he is aiming for a return around Thanksgiving, but not necessarily on Thanksgiving. Here's Burrow on the playoffs.
Yeah, our division is wide open. There's a lot of, I think Pittsburgh's 5-4 at this point. We play them this week. So, everything is still there in front of us. It's very rare that our division looks like this, but it does this year. And so, I think we'll be at least in it until the end.
We still haven't landed on a hairstyle, but we haven't. There's just a lot.
He was fresh off bright. He had his helmet on, everything.
We're just rolling the dice out there every few months. Are you buying his optimism?
Of their chances, no, because as the Bengals are presently constituted, they won't be any better with him. Now, Flacco falls off. Brou.
He's going to fall off.
Okay, but as they are presently playing, they have scored 80 points in their last 2 losses. 80. I mean,
Flacco did have 2 picks last game.
Brou,
he had 4 touchdowns and 500 yards.
Yeah, Brou. I mean,
just saying.
They have scored 42 and 38 in their losses. Like, their problem is not quarterback play.
It does make
Now,
sense.
what I will say is this, Brou. This is a little unintentional dig at your Ravens. And also, I think, by happenstance, bad news for your Ravens. Because this is setting up for, if it is true that he's going to come back after Thanksgiving, the Ravens on Thanksgiving are going to have to deal with Joe Flacco thinking, this might be my last start of my career. On Thanksgiving, I am chucking this sucker deep all game, and then you're going to have to deal with actual Joe Burrow a few weeks later. But no, I think the Bengals are cooked, and I don't think their problem is quarterback play.
Well, look, Flacco, I think by my estimation, has one great game left.
Well, he's saving it for Thanksgiving.
No, but his going stinks.
Okay.
It'll be this next game, and then he'll turn back into a pumpkin. So by the time they play the Ravens, he'll be throwing the ball to the opposing team. But I'll be honest. I mean, if I'm Joe Burrow, he's got the right attitude. Like, it is wide open. I mean, they are 2 games behind Pittsburgh, who they play, and and as someone rooting who picked the Ravens, I'm a little more concerned with with Burrow playing.
Freudian slip.
If Burrow doesn't play, I feel like those are 2. They have no room for error, obviously, but those are 2 games they should win. They should sweep the Bengals. If he plays, now they swept them last year, but it was 41-38 in overtime, and it was 35-34.
So
those were the scores. The Ravens beat the Bengals twice last year, but with Burrow playing, it was separated by 4 points in both games.
They scored 38 points and lost with Joe Burrow, like they did with Joe Flacco 2 weeks ago.
I mean, you want to make this a kill Burrow thing, but I'm just saying,
I'm just saying their problem
Burrow
isn't
makes
quarterback
them
play.
a lot more dangerous. And he will bring, even if Flacco's playing well, Burrow will bring more hope, more belief, more confidence in that locker room. Like, they will be, I think this Ravens still can obviously sweep them. They did it last year. But it makes their road a little bit tougher.
I absolutely agree with Joe Burrow. The division's wide open, just not for them. It's not for them. And to Nick's point, 42 points, 38 points, and 33 points in the last 3 games. That's a 37.3 average. So what's Joe Burrow going to be good for another field goal? Still get to 40? That's not the problem. 32nd in yards, 32nd in points, 32nd in rush yards, 30 in passing yards, 29th in sacks, tied for 25th in takeaways. So they really
weren't they
done a
the
good job
same
there.
last year though?
Yeah, they weren't
and
good
they
enough.
I'm just saying they made a push. They were dangerous.
Totally get it, but we're not looking at a team that has not scored a ridiculous amount of points and still found a way to lose. And unlike Baltimore, it doesn't seem like they're getting any better.
Oh, no,
if anything, they're fine.
Worse.
The play against Chicago to lose the game, I mean, just brutal.
So that was so bad, but it doesn't seem unfixable. Does that make it's just you're not making tackles?
Look, you want to look. You want to.
But they don't have bad.
This has gone on for a year and a half.
But they have NFL quality players.
Just bad.
I would think. I would imagine if you were there, you have to try something dramatically different. So when you're having this level of bad results over and over again, maybe it's got to be 70% blitz, 60%, but with something dramatic. Because how do you want to die? You're bad right now, so why not go take some shots, try to blow up the other team, try to create some havoc with the hopes that you get 2 or 3 stops so that your offense can go and win the game because you just outscore them.
In fairness, I think that kind of is what they tried against the Jets, which is the only way the Jets can then go score 39 points. You know what I mean? But the fact of the matter is they've run out. They were like, it's Lou Anarumo's fault. How's he doing in Indy? Right. Seems okay.
Well, he was terrible last year.
The players are bad.
How can the players be this bad?
Somebody's got to be 32nd.
It doesn't be them every year.
Well, I mean, if they don't change it, they didn't change players. They ran everything back. They said, we have this awesome offense, this terrible defense. What if we have this grand strategy of just paying our offensive players more money?
I know it doesn't make sense. The only thing is, it feels like other defenses get hurt, and all of a sudden, wow, 3 guys are out, 4 guys are out, and there's a next man up mentality. So you have guys who are starting who aren't starters in the league.
And they play better than
they play better than the Bengals.
It's the culture. I know you don't like when I say that. It's true. There are teams that have a defensive mentality and a defensive culture, and they just are good defensively.
What do you want to do?
They don't care about defense. They pay all the offensive players.
Look, the guys who are on the defense obviously care about the defense, and the coaches care about the defense. But it is one of those situations where when you're in a hole this big, it's not a question of just stop digging, like some people say. You're going to try some different things, and maybe that's why they lost the Jets. But you can't just leave it the way it is. I agree. And maybe you just take some chances. You got to take some chances because this way is not working, and you are probably going to put up 30, 35 a game.
Just hear me out.
Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. We don't have enough time. We got to get to
I want to hear you out.
We're about to say something dumb.
Say it.
He's about to say something dumb.
Jamar Chase.
Put him on.
I'm just saying, you can track the ball. Desperate times, Jamar.
He's going to say something dumb.
And get him hurt.
Yeah.
Not tough enough?
Okay, come on.
Just
Let's go to Daboll.
Get him hurt.
I saw the look in your eye. I tried to save you. I knew it was going.
We got to do something. Well, then let's just lose, I guess. That's the other option.
I'll try coach's way. Let's just blitz.
Sean McDermott was asked about reuniting with former Bills OC and Josh Allen sculptor from just a raw piece of clay from Wyoming. Brian Daboll. McDermott not interested. Take a listen.
I understand why you're asking that. Brian's a great coach. Unfortunate to see that happen to him. At this point, that's not under any type of consideration. We've got a really good offensive staff. They've had really good games. You're gonna have some games you want back, some play calls you want back. Those happen. So it's how you respond to them, and I'm fully confident in our offensive staff, and Joe is our leader.
Go ahead.
So, I have a take for you, Coach, that I think you might like. Maybe you'll hate.
Okay, I can't do it. There we go.
No, but this isn't put your all-pro receiver at defensive back because the Patriots did it with Troy Brown once.
And Julian.
A little bit different pay scale back
all
then.
right, so if people don't Tyler Dunn, who I like a lot, I bring up a lot on the show. He has the great Substack, Go Long TD. He wrote the long-form piece on the Caleb piece was him. He's also the one that wrote the McDermott piece a couple years ago that got a lot of traction because of the piece of it was the 9/11 reference, but also it talked about the dysfunction within the locker room and between McDermott and Josh or the offense. And they talked about Brian Daboll in it. And here is a reference from it that kind of leads into my take. Thus, it's impossible not to ask one longtime Bill as a player who's close with all 3 individuals. One question. Did Buffalo keep the wrong coach? There's nothing but dead air on the other end of the phone for 13 seconds. Do I need to continue my silence, this player said, or are we good? So I thought about that when Tyler tweeted it out.
Awesome way to respond.
Right, yesterday. Yeah. And this is because I mentioned, hey, could they bring him back in the fold? But you bring him back in the fold now, it undermines Joe Brady entirely. Yeah. You can't do that. Also seems like there was friction between he and McDermott, he being Brian Daboll. Also, Josh Allen has picked his last 2 offensive coordinators. Like, he has had a real say in it. The question I have is this. If the Bills don't win the division, which right now they're favored not to do, and if they, for the first time in the Josh Allen MVP-ish era, go out in round 1, and they fire Sean McDermott, because I think we all believe they probably would if they lose in round 1 of the playoffs, would Brian Daboll, head coach of the Buffalo Bills, be a real possibility? Because Josh Allen loves him, and arguably he's played his best football with him. Obviously, Daboll would do it. There's not a question there. Do you think that is pie-in-the-sky nonsense or something that is on the board of possibilities?
Look, I don't rule out anything being a possibility. The first thing I want to say about friction between him and McDermott, so Brian was with me. He was my assistant in the secondary when we were in New England. Then he was my quarterback coach at the Jets. Then he was the offense coordinator for me at the Browns. He is not a friction guy. He is not a guy that's going to create any kind of problems on a staff. So that the idea that there's friction between him and the head coach, that's not how he's wired. It's inconceivable for me to imagine that was the case. Will he defend the things he believes in? Yeah, but he's not gonna undermine anything that the head coach is trying to achieve. In terms of him going back there in the short term, I get why people are talking about that, but if anything, he needs to decompress a little bit, get away from football for a while, and then if he wants to go back somewhere, go back a little bit later in the season. I think New England would actually be a great place for him to go back and consult for a while. They're probably going to win the division. And let's say the Bills don't want him back. It'd be a nice place to go back to if the Bills didn't want you back, to just be like, oh, okay, well, maybe I'll help out here for a little bit. So there's that. In terms of him becoming a head coach in Buffalo, when you do transition head coaches, there is an element of having to sell to the fan base. So it's a little bit tougher sell based off the way that things
But I think Bills fans love him. Because they feel like he helped Josh become Josh.
I can tell you definitively, nobody loves Buffalo, the city of Buffalo, more than Brian Daboll. He was raised there. He is a proud, Buffalonian. So that would be great from a, hometown hero coming back. It's just whether the ownership could sell it. And if you're an owner that doesn't care whether or not, how people perceive you, and you're going to make the move because you think it's the best, then so be it. Robert Kraft did that by hiring Bill Belichick a long time ago when Bill was very much out of favor nationally.
Yeah, no, that Belichick's a great example because, look, I think Daboll, he obviously did a very good job his first year with the Giants, and I think he could go somewhere else and do a very good job. But with the Bills, you guys know a few years ago I was saying if the Bills don't get it done this year, McDermott should go. I think McDermott's a good coach. It seems to me like even if they do go out in the playoffs again in bad fashion, they just seem like they are going to keep McDermott, to me. Now, maybe I'm wrong. So I think he's there. He obviously said the right thing about we're not considering Daboll now. But if they go out in the first round, even if they just don't make the Super Bowl and the offense is a problem, I could see getting rid of Bray. I could see bringing Daboll back as an OC and with Josh. Now, and again, if McDermott ever got fired, then could he? Yeah. You can't see him as an OC?
I don't. He just doesn't. I just think he's going to try to get a head coaching job.
He might, but we've seen a lot of former head coaches go back to being coordinators, and I think that would be the case. And I think Coach is right. Nick, it better work. You better win the Super Bowl if you bring in Daboll after how it went with the Giants and you fire McDermott to bring in Daboll. I don't see that happening.
Baker says the Bucs are missing the killer instinct.
What's going on? I'm Arch Manning, Viore athlete and college quarterback. Whether I'm running, training, traveling, or just unwinding at home, I love doing it in my core shorts from Viore. With a breathable boxer brief liner, they're quick to dry, super versatile, and stand up to even my most intense training sessions. Plus, they come in 3 inseams and a ton of colors. Ready to try a pair? Go to viore.com/arch and get 20% off at checkout. I think you're going to love them as much as I do. That's VUORI.com/ARCH and get 20% off your first order. Exclusions apply. Visit the website for full terms and conditions. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Have a great day.
Baker and the Bucs lost fresh off a bye week, now prepping for a trip to Buffalo. Here's Baker on what's missing from that offense.
We're a good team, but to be great, when you score on the opening drive, you know what it looks like, you set the tone, you're not satisfied with it. You come back, in your head it's 0-0, and you go do it again. And right now, I think we're lacking that on offense, and it comes down to me. That's my job to get that fixed, and I will do that.
Lacking in terms of hunger?
Killer instinct.
Ooh. Brou, your reaction.
My reaction?
Okay.
No, look, I think Baker is being a little harsh on his teammates. And that's his right. He's the team leader. He's the quarterback. And it is his job to instill that killer instinct into him. He has it, clearly. He's got to instill it into the rest of the guys, okay? But the reason I say he's being harsh is because their losses, Coach, they lost to New England. They're not as good as New England. They lost to Detroit. They're not as good as Detroit. They lost to Philadelphia. They're not as good as Philadelphia. I mean, they are beat. Now they beat Seattle, who I think is probably better than. Well, San Francisco's playing with their backup quarterback. I'm sorry.
And
a bunch of injuries elsewhere.
Brou, the Niners are a good team.
Let's see where I bet they fade in a few weeks. But my point is, they are doing what they are as good as they are. Like they are. I contend, and if they prove me wrong and get to the Super Bowl, fine. They are a good team. They are a playoff team. They are not a contender. And it's not Baker's fault. It's just they're not a Super Bowl contender. Killer instinct or not. They're a cute team.
So so can I rebut that?
Yeah.
No, they have 2 wins over 6+ win teams. No team has more. There's a bunch of teams.
But it's not, record. Wait.
Yeah.
Okay. No team has more than 2 wins
over teams that have 6
Philadelphia
wins. Does not. No team has more.
But Philly's beat better teams.
But again, this is because you're doing this weird thing.
No, is Kansas City better than San Francisco?
No. Yes, they are.
They don't have
I was going to say the pack. Like you're giving, I think, Philly extra credit for the Packers win because you hold the Packers. But regardless, my point, like they just played the Patriots. That was a game in the balance in the fourth quarter. Patriots made the plays. Tampa Bay didn't. They did not look outclassed in that game. They beat Seattle in Seattle. Seattle right now looks like the best team in football. They have been certainly more injured than your average NFL team, and they're 6-3. They're going to finish the year, I would imagine, 12-5. Like, if that's not a really good team, I don't know what is. And so
just because of the record,
they have.
If they're 12-5, you think they're going to win in Buffalo?
I think that they will split their next 2, and then their final 6, they could lose their next 2 and finish 12-5 because of that final 6, which I've been talking about all year. But yeah, I think they will. I think that the rest of the way they are going to go 6-2, which is more than reasonable.
Here's what I don't like. I like the fact that you said it starts with me, so that's a positive. But you're saying killer instinct. That's such a vague thing, as opposed to identifying something specific. He's saying this killer. And what does that mean? What does killer instinct mean? Are you saying that the coaches pull back, they get too conservative? The offensive coordinator gets too conservative? Is that the killer instinct? Is the head coach holding you back? Does that get too conservative?
That's what it felt like,
That's
right?
kind of what it felt like
a little
to me.
bit of a jab.
Well,
That's like a
I
play
mean, if
calling
you're
thing.
talking about killer instinct, that's usually what it implies. But here's what I'll say is, why don't you go talk to the quarterback about that? You have the ball every time. If you want to throw it deep, throw it deep. You had 41 touchdowns last year. Right now you have 16. So if you want to talk about killer instinct, you're right. It does start with you. And maybe let's not talk about vague things that imply, that the coaches or the head coach, whatever, it's just you're creating some unnecessary conflict, and that doesn't need to be there. It just doesn't need to be there. And you have the ball every single time. Go kill.
Okay. Man, you sound like Kurt Signetti out here. Coming up next, a fresh edition of Mahomes Mountain. Next on First Things First. Happy Veterans Day. Live from New York at the Zoo, wishing you a very happy Veterans Day. It's the second hour of First Things First. Today, are the Packers losing contender status. And hold on, is LaFleur on the hot seat?
Oh, that's interesting.
Coach, NFL head coach, seems to be a job with not great job security.
No.
Not
I got
great. Tough one.
If I'm the Mara family, I'd be like, yes, to that.
Again, worse.
Also, a special edition of Brou's Ballot.
Ooh.
Patrick Mahomes, third in Vegas odds, but does he make Brou's Ballot?
Can I
We
ask a
discussed.
question? And I look forward to Bruce Ballot every week. But what makes this a special edition?
It's always special.
Veterans Day edition.
That's like my introduction. That's part of his introduction for Bruce Ballot. Like the ombudsman is if you like it or not.
No, that's gone.
This is special.
Special edition. It's always special edition. All right, but it's time now for a special edition of Mahomes Mountain. Well, hello there. Believe it or not, we are still on the mountain. This is one of the more luxurious offshoots near the summit. Patrick Mahomes is on a bye, so taking it easy. So that begs the question, who will be atop of this week's edition of Mahomes Mountain? I don't know. We're trying, I don't know.
What did you written out there in the logs?
Okay, so I have a confession to make.
Okay.
That wasn't real.
But that was you.
Wasn't?
That was me.
Uh-huh.
You
But-
weren't really on the mountain?
No, I wasn't on a mountain. It was supposed to say, who cares? If you're explaining, you're losing. That's what they always say.
I'm
It's supposed to be
confused by
the
a lot of
Chiefs
it.
are on a bye.
Yeah, but it's not tiers, so
So it was like bye week 10.
I don't
Oh,
totally
bye.
understand.
Bye.
Also, is that the ocean?
It looks very pretty.
It
So is
doesn't
the
look like a
idea that the
mountain.
mountain is
Wow.
behind us,
It looks like a.
but Patrick Mahomes, because he's on a bye,
Oh,
is
okay.
on the beach?
Looks like this will be the last time we're doing the AI.
Well,
Yet again. Hey, AI, focus on vacuuming.
time!
Roombas.
All right, listen. Now that we're past the midway point of the season, you know what? I'm sure I'm not the only one that's realized this week in, week out. Not enough good quarterbacks. Sometimes it's because of injury. Sometimes it's because of youth. Sometimes it's because of Bo Nix. But there's not enough good quarterbacks. So a lot of guys are off the mountain, which has led to some sad vacancies on the mountain.
no.
Let's show you who's off the mountain. Burrow, Purdy, Kyler, and Jaden, all off due to injury. Justin Fields is off due to completing 6 passes. Michael Penix is off due to him playing a standalone national TV game. Bryce
Is
Young.
that his first week off?
Not his first week off, but he's off. Gino, it did him no favors to the 10-7 game on national TV. J.J. McCarthy, he's off, as is his alter ego 9. I wouldn't have debuted that one yet, Chief. Dylan Gabriel is off.
These guys can't all be off.
They have.
It's just this. It's
KW. They have to be off.
How many guys are
That's
off?
half the league.
I'm telling you, they have to be off because here's
give it a
road.
break.
Guys, I
No
had
grace
to try
for
to
rookies?
Listen. Bo Nix and Trevor's still on.
Put some
I don't
college
love
guys
it.
on.
I've never lived that down. I put college guys on before. I'm tethered to them like an anchor. Marcus Mariota's back up. Jackson Dart got knocked out of the game, kept his spot. Jacoby Brissett dropping the ball left and right, kept his spot. You think I want to put Tyler Shuck and Davis Mills on the mountain?
He
I had
outplayed
no
the
choice.
Prince Mills.
But with that said, I don't love the off area. I don't love 7th row. 6th row, we start to get good, which is why there's vacancies.
Oh, God.
That has to be. Jordan Love, Brou. We might have a problem. Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to get hit. Certainly doesn't want to climb the mountain. Tua, good for you, buddy.
Sure.
Couple picks. One of them I didn't care about at all. 3rd and 11, threw it deep, fine. The other one not great. Still, guys, this is how bad it is. C.J. Stroud didn't play. I was like, let's say where he is. He's going to be back. He's no injury. Sure. All right, but now top 15 is where we get good. So it's the bottom of the league's bad. Mid part's not great, but now we get good. Dak, drop a bit just because people moved up around. Caleb, clutch for the 2nd straight week, back-to-back touchdown drives to win the game. Joe Flacco, week to rest, and now he's like, man, Joe Burrow, I hope your toe feels better to hold my clipboard, buddy. Mac Jones is just cooking.
I like this says Mac Jones on it.
Oh, yeah, it does. It does say Mac Jones. I don't mean it to, but it does. Mac Jones is out there cooking. Daniel Jones, you know, through the first 3 years of his career, he averaged more fumbles per game than any player in the history of the league. The last couple weeks, it's come back a bit, but Jonathan Taylor's made it not matter. There it is. Now to the top 10. Don't get mad at me, KW. I don't know what to do about your guy, Jalen Hurts.
I'm not.
They just don't have a sustainable offense week to week. And they do for a week, but then they don't. It's weird.
Come playoff time, we'll be good.
Justin Herbert, I thought, played a great game Sunday night and deserves credit for it. And I know the Herbert truthers would tell us that's what he's going to be the rest of the year. I'm excited to see it. Jared Goff with Dan Campbell whispering in his ear the plays. Throw it to Jahmyr Gibbs. Throw it to Jameson Williams. Worked really well. And Baker, when did this show become such an anti-Baker show? Coach is like he's doing a coup d'etat against Todd Bowles. Bru's like they're a cute little team.
Baker's playing great.
That was harsher than I expected, I got to tell you. All right, now the interesting part. Top 6. Josh Allen's got to drop.
Yeah.
Fair is fair. The turnovers, a terrible loss. I expected Lamar to move up going into this weekend. I thought that if someone moved down, Lamar would move up, but he didn't play poorly, but he hasn't played great yet. Since I know this first game back, he had 4 touchdowns. Which is how he got where he was. But this past weekend, Minnesota is fine.
Yeah,
Sam Darnold moves up. That team is just a juggernaut, and he's been excellent. Top 2 rows, second row. Wow. It's rare you get to move up in a bye week, but Josh Allen moves down. Lamar doesn't do much. Darnold moved up. Jalen Hurts didn't. Jalen Hurts scored 7 points. It's good to have the mountain named after you, I guess. Patrick Mahomes moves up. Drake May stays where he is. And atop the mountain for the second straight week. It's been a while since we've had the same guy on the mountain back-to-back weeks.
Really?
Other than Patrick. Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford, who is having close to a perfect season so far. Not a perfect season, but close to a perfect season. And if it were voted on today, I think would get 80% of first place MVP votes. He remains atop Mahomes Mountain. Coach?
That is a wild mountain.
I know.
To go with a wild team. First of all, you should put Bryce Young back on the mountain. I don't like that at all. But the fact that you got Flacco, Mac Jones, and Daniel Jones above Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers, Tua, Stroud, like who would ever think going into the season that would be the case? So that's really interesting. But where I'm going to focus is the top of the mountain. And it's obvious that Patrick Mahomes should be down with the other former MVPs.
That's where he was last week.
That's exactly where he should be again, and Sam Darnold should move up.
Ooh, wow.
And let's just, I know it's a rich tapestry, so I want to make sure that I integrated all the elements. So let's just look at the last game each of these two guys played.
Well, that's unfair.
Is it?
It's one guy's worst game.
You moved the guy up with a 44.1 completion percentage.
Hold on, that's incorrect. That's incorrect.
You left him alone?
No. I dropped him after that game.
Okay.
They were on a bye.
Guess what? Drop him further because that's terrible. And the other guy played pretty well. Now, he didn't have a lot of completions. He didn't need to. They scored 44 points. But here's the last game they played, and you're probably saying, well, Buffalo, they're pretty good defensively. Well, then Tua went and ate him up this week, so I guess maybe they're not that good defensively, even though they smoked Patrick Mahomes. But, okay, it's a rich tapestry. Let's look at the last 5 games between these two guys.
Oh, my.
Okay, here we go. 4-1, 3-2, 71.9, 67.2. Wow. Go right on down the line, and Sam Darnold's played better. I get it. The mountain's named after him, but put him with the other former MVPs who are struggling at this point, and you can call that whatever. Give it some cute name that you guys make up in the back room.
No, that's the committee and cheers.
But I'm just saying,
don't have names
throw Mahomes down with Allen Lamar. They're all struggling in their own separate way. And Drake May gets graded up because he's young and he's having a great season and he's the flavor.
Drake May's great.
Exactly, and so is Sam Darnold right now.
He's great. I moved him up.
Yeah, move him up to where he belongs.
Do you know how hard it is to move up 2 rows in 1 week? Everybody knows that.
Just put him down with the other former MVPs, and they can all have
a name.
They can cook marshmallows.
Coach, it is a rich tapestry.
And, yes,
but everybody
picture
knows
10.
about Mahomes Mountain.
Yes,
While it is
it's
easy
biased.
to drop multiple rows in a week, it is much like climbing a mountain. You could climb for hours, and then slip for a second, you're way down.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But you can't all of a sudden, hold on. But you can't all of a sudden jump rows.
No.
You left guys on with buys.
Mahomes was on the top of the mountain. After that game with Buffalo, he slipped from the very top to the third row. That's what happened.
Yeah, put him back.
Sam Darnold
Put him
was in
back.
the fourth row, had this great week, moved up to the third row. Somebody from row 3 needed to move up to row 2. It couldn't have been Jalen Hurts after that game.
No.
It couldn't have been Lamar.
Golf.
Patrick.
Golf
was on row 5.
This
No,
is
he moved up.
This is the worst logic for defending Patrick Mahomes.
Have
that
you
you've
ever
had
climbed
in a long
anything?
time.
I'm with you.
What do
Coach.
you
Yes,
mean?
I've climbed several restaurants to get to the buffet.
I'm with you on that one. And you hinted a little bit at where I'm going. Now, I said earlier, J-Lo's been struggling.
Oh, no.
But J-Lo is too low. All right, you
this is
move
not
him
the
up.
day for this.
All 5 you look at all 5 of the quarterbacks on the row ahead of J-Lo. Dak, Caleb, Flacco, Mac Jones.
Yeah.
J-Lo has a better passer rating than all of them. He's 8th in the league in passer rating. J-Lo has the second fewest has fewer interceptions than all of them. In fact, all of them except Caleb have twice as many interceptions as J-Lo. J-Lo's got 3, Caleb's got 4, the rest of them have at least 6. All right? So J-Lo, I know he struggled the last 2 weeks.
Okay, then that's.
But hold on. Oh, really? Because Daniel Jones has 7 turnovers in the last 2 weeks. How is he still ahead of J-Lo? Joe Flacco had 2 interceptions in his last game.
They scored 40.
Dak Prescott has 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions in his last 2 games. So I'm just saying, they're all struggling. And Nick, this is a stat I know you love. Yards per attempt. Of the 5 guys ahead of J-Lo, including him, he has the second best yards per attempt of any of those 6. So J-Lo is too low.
Okay.
I rest my case.
Are any of their 5 coaches potentially getting fired because of their performance this year? Because that's what J-Lo's coach is
That's on LaFleur if that's the
case. Have any of the
case.
quarterbacks in the row above thrown a touchdown in the last 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Daniel, how many? 7 turnovers, Wilds? 7.
Brou, at least, but Daniel Jones, listen, he was awful in the Steeler game. He was not awful in the Berlin game. He wasn't very good. He was not awful. And
J-Lo wasn't awful.
When was J-Lo not
awful last night?
They scored 7 points.
That's a team. I'm not saying he was good. I'm just saying he wasn't awful.
I think
He wasn't Patrick Mahomes awful versus the Buffalo Bills. He wasn't that awful.
He completed more than 44%
He wasn't that
of his
awful.
passes.
That's fair. That's kind of a low blow.
It's not fair.
Thank you, Coach.
The offense scored 7 points. They got points off the board because he fumbled in the scoring zone. They couldn't pick up what?
I just told you Daniel Jones had 7 turnovers he had 2 turnovers his last game, 5 the week before.
I understand.
I get it. I'm not saying J-Lo played well. I'm just saying there are a lot of guys that played
I know he's your MVP pick. This is not the week to defend J-Lo.
Yeah, I like that.
No, he should move up. That's all I'm saying, to the next row.
KW, I don't know what you're doing. I intentionally didn't look at it. If this is a Drake May thing,
Of course it is.
I'm going to be very disappointed.
It's kind of a Drake May thing.
Gosh darn it,
But I'm
man.
not talking about Drake. I'm not talking about Drake
Can
May.
someone on WEI please just book a weekly spot
not
with
talking
KW?
about Drake May.
Go ahead. Okay.
I am talking about Josh Allen.
Okay, great.
Do I want Josh Allen to move down? Not necessarily.
Further.
No, because I don't know who to move up. Maybe Goff?
Herbert.
Nah, I'm not really a Herbert guy. I'm more of a Goff guy. Just based on recent, I put a lot of emphasis on recency on the mountain.
Right.
That's why I like things can. I like
There's week to week.
I like a more volatile mountain. Josh has got a lot of reputational momentum. I see it when I see the Bills' power rankings, when we have to name the top quarterbacks.
When you watch Get Up in the morning.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of reputational momentum there. I get it. The guy has been great. He's the reigning MVP. Here are the ranks this year. No funny business, just straight up. They're 6-3. That's 8. That's not good. He's lost 3 of his last 5 games. Passing yards, 13th. A little bit funky because he's had some games where he hasn't had to do a lot. Touchdown interceptions. I do think he wanted to throw the ball. 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. That's 15th. Passer rating, 7th best. Fine. But I don't think we all have to continue to genuflect at the altar of the reigning MVP. The other thing is, let's look from last year's first 9 games to this year. And last year wasn't like an amazing statistical season. He had 4 turnovers this year. He has 7, sacked 11 times. This year's 20. He was 3-0 the division. Now he's 2-2. I'm not saying necessarily move him down, maybe flop him with Goff, but I would just like to have people deal with the Josh Allen that we're currently seeing and not the one that people are used to seeing. This is also an early shot at Danny Parkins' Top 10 Tuesdays that I got.
Well, I'll let Danny deal with that in an hour. I have a question for you, KW.
Yeah?
Because let me first say this. I appreciate that. That is in the spirit of the mountain.
Yeah.
It is well researched. It threw the audience like, oh, I didn't expect him to do that. Yeah. So I liked it. So now, I'll give you an opportunity to do what I think you really want to do. Up to this point in the season, who has been the best quarterback in the AFC East? I'm just asking a question.
I don't even feel like I need to answer that.
I think you do.
Well, who's taller? Wemby or Valanciunas? Just look at it. That's it.
It is obvious.
We've played head-to-head, and we are better.
No,
one person completes more passes to the other guy's old wide receivers. So I don't have a bunch of stats ready.
No, I wasn't asking you to have stats ready. I was trying to
I think it is obvious
that
Drake May has outplayed Josh Allen this
year. I agree with you, which leads me to my bigger question, which you don't have to answer right now, but I think is an interesting one. Moving forward, who do we think the best quarterback in the AFC East is going to be? I think it's an open question. I know Coach is going to say I'm too far ahead of it. I think that is an open question.
As Drake May said after the game, I'm just worried about Thursday right now, but I appreciate the question.
Yeah, but that's because he has a game to prepare for. Your job is to give opinions.
No. I'm totally focused on Thursday. I'm locked in on Thursday.
Okay, great job, KW.
Who do we play after that? Not even sure.
Probably someone terrible.
Yeah, of course. All I'm worried about is Thursday. Coming up
Jets
next.
and Bengals.
Yeah, it is the Bengals.
I better win both.
Jets are on fire right now.
9 in a row?
Jets are on fire.
Okay, this is not good. You know what? This also was the first huge L for Gian and Hubs.
Wow.
That's true.
Wow.
Calling her out.
A little bit. Look, people just tweeting goat emoji.
You got Hubs
thumbs,
painting
not
and
fingers.
Hey there, it's Dr. Sanjay Gupta with some exciting news to share. CNN is now streaming. That means you can read, watch, and stream everything in one subscription. You can watch news live 24/7. You can also explore catch-up videos and explainer videos, and you can also watch the library of CNN's originals, including my latest documentary, It Doesn't Have to Hurt. Just go to cnn.com/allaccess.
Hey, this is Master Sergeant Jessica Zolman with the 130th Field Artillery Brigade here at Camp Eric John Kuwait. I want to wish all my brothers and sisters in arms a happy Veterans Day, and most importantly, go Chiefs!
Wow. Legend.
Excellent.
Great job.
Welcome back to First Things First. Happy Veterans Day to everyone around the country and world. Packers defense looked good last night, held the champs to 10 points, but also dropped to 5-3-1. Micah Parsons not stressed. Take a listen.
They should have hope. I mean, it'll be different if we're getting blown out in fashions of this is in despair, we can't win these type of games. We just gotta get back to the basics and do what we have to do. But I mean, I wouldn't panic at all. We're gonna win a lot of football. The way we just played, we're gonna win a lot of football games. So I would not panic. I wouldn't stress. We're gonna win football games, I promise you.
I like that. Brou, should he be concerned?
He should be concerned. I like what he said. I mean, that's what I want to hear from one of our leaders. You don't want to hit the arm button right now, but they got to get that offense together. Defense is great. I mean, it's not perfect. They gave up 40 to the Cowboys. But in their losses, Coach, 16 points, 13 points, 10 points. They should win those games. So, and it's his boy. I mean, it seemed like him and Jordan Love were close when he went over to the team. Jordan's got to play better. I mean, as much as I thought he should have moved up on the mountain, he still has to play much better football. There's no doubt about it.
It's never been vindicated quicker.
No, I think he should have moved up, but he has to be more consistent. And that's his main problem. Like, I as a fan of his, have no idea. I know the Packers have no idea which Jordan Love they're going to get. And his highs are very high. His highs are as high as anyone in the league for the most part. And he does it enough where it's not just like a Flacco having a great game. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, he does it enough where you know he has that potential, but he has too many just J-No games, and yesterday was clearly one of them. So that's the offense altogether, the offensive line. I hated losing Tucker Kraft. I think that's a big part of his demise these last two games. But and the receivers, look, they did drop a couple balls. Their receiving core hasn't been as good as I've expected it to be. I thought they dropped a few last night, and so, but there's no excuse. They have a team capable, I believe, of reaching the Super Bowl if Jordan Love and the offense gets it together.
I really enjoy the fact that Mike has become the new Aaron Rodgers of Green Bay and telling everybody to just relax. Just relax, I think that's really good. And, he's 13th in the league in sacks. So that's pretty good, 13th in the league in sacks. And then let's see, I don't know if you've heard this before, Wiles, but
crazy.
To whom much is given, much is expected.
He's given a lot of
money. So here's what Micah did with the Cowboys. He has 4.1 tackles per game. 20.8 pressure percentage, he's lower than that. 3.3 sack percentage, he's lower than that. So I get it. There's a lot of things that they can do offensively, but you also need to go affect the game more than you're affecting the game. That's why you were brought there. And I don't know if 13th in the league in sacks is necessarily what they expected from you. And maybe he's getting, quadruple teamed. These other guys, Myles Garrett's pretty good. I see him get blocked a lot by a lot of different guys.
But he needs to do more, too, because they've only won 2 games. No, I mean, he's got to – Myles Garrett must be – imagine how bad he must be.
Myles Garrett isn't talking about relax, we're going to win a lot of games.
No, he's demanding trades. He's demanding trades.
He's a realist. And he's also holding up his end of the bargain. He's number 1 in the league in sacks.
Okay, but –
So if Micah was the best defensive player in the league – and he was talking about
instead he's the second best.
Well, is he though?
I mean, certainly
he's
arguably.
Even as good as when he was at Dallas.
No, so again, Coach, hold on. He is one big game away. If he is 3 pressure percentage points off and 0.9 sack percentage off, he is 2 sack game and 8 pressure game away from being exactly in line.
What week should we wait for that? Week 17?
Well, no. I mean, listen, I think this is crazy. I think
of course it is, because you love Micah Parsons.
No, it's because I watch the games.
Oh, okay.
And the Pack, if you look at this, show the under 17-point losses. If you look at this and you say the Packers' problem is the defense, the whole league has 8 losses when the defense allows 17 or fewer points, or less than 17 points, pardon me. Packers got 3 of them. One of their losses that was when they allowed 13 points to Cleveland. And by the way, the defense only really allowed 6 because the 1 touchdown Cleveland scored was on the J-Lo pick that was returned to the 4-yard line. The defense was awful in the Cowboys game. Aside from that, the defense, week in, week out, has done its job. Period, point blank. By any team defensive metric, they've been excellent. By points allowed, last night, holding the Philadelphia Eagles to 10 points and 0 points in the first half, the defense held up its end. The concern is the offense. And so, yes, I think Micah should be concerned. But I think it is absolutely bananas to watch last night's football game, watch Saquon. We were like, oh, Saquon might be back. He had the big game. Andy's coming off a bye. get by. And I know Micah can't. Any defense with Micah Parsons against the run, it's just going to be a sieve.
Well,
22 carries for 60 yards.
Saquon Barkley as a measuring stick based off the season he's had.
No.
That would have been a really good argument last season.
Coach, they allowed 10 points. And you're saying the defense needs to do more. I think when you have a $50 million a year quarterback and an offensive head coach, you should expect to win the games that you allow fewer than 17 points. Instead, they've lost 3 of them. The rest of the NFL combined has lost 5. I don't know how we blame the defense for that. I just don't.
I'm not blaming the defense. I'm saying that as the player that he was brought in to be, when you're 13th in the league in sacks and when your production's down versus the team you were just at, you think there's some room there for improvement.
Do you want him to say, I need to do better?
What's that?
Because I thought this quote was a vote of confidence for the offense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't take it as a shot. Did you?
It felt like when we play like this defensively, we're going to win a lot of games. It didn't feel like necessarily an endorsement of the offense.
Oh, I took it as like, we'll be good.
I definitely didn't think he was taking a shot at the offense. I thought he was being very diplomatic. And like I said, I liked what he said.
Want to hear my quick Teddy Bruschi story?
Sure.
Oh.
It was a similar game like this that the Patriots lost. Teddy Bruschi wasn't on the team. And I had the same thing. I was like, what are you going to do? I mean, we got to score some points. Teddy Bruschi's like, what? I was like, the defense held up their end of the bargain. Like, hold them to 0. Yeah. I was like, Teddy Bruschi, you're the best. Moving on. As for the Eagles, end of the game, 4th and 6. Philly decides to go for it to ice the game. Incomplete to A.J. Brown. Troy was befuddled on the broadcast. Green Bay ended up getting a shot to win it. Actually got a test kick, which I guess is allowed. Just try one out. Sirianni, however, no regrets.
Don't regret that at all. Wanted to be able to end the game. Played in, we didn't work. It didn't work this time. Sometimes that happens, and but I got a lot of faith in sending those guys back out there.
It's just insane. Just insane. And I think we'll agree on this one after disagreeing on Micah.
I think we're going to agree on that.
It's first of all, I want to just make this clear for the folks that use analytics as the boogeyman about what's happened to football. Every single analytical model hated this decision. So this was not him going. Usually analytics encourage aggressiveness. This was one of the rare instances where all the analytical models were punt that ball. Go ahead and punt that ball. And it felt to me like he was trying to prove a point at the expense of close to guaranteeing a win. You have 33 seconds. The other team has no timeouts. If you punt the ball, your worst realistic scenario is they have the ball at the 20, 15 yards, further back than where they are. And those 15 yards obviously matter. That first play after this, coach, they had a screen open, the Josh Jacobs play, and Jacobs turned the wrong way. And it was this close to, they could have gotten in field goal range right there. They ended up, it turns out, 2 yards short of field goal range. I know the actual field goal was missed badly. The practice field goal came, 2 yards short. That is a baffling game management decision. And the scenarios that he compared it to, none of them were up 3, 30 seconds left against a team that scored 7 points and have 0 timeouts. I feel like he's one of the only coaches in the league that would have said, throw the ball there rather than punt the ball there.
Well, in fairness to him, there have been multiple games this season where teams have gotten the ball back with 30 seconds. They complete 2 passes and they're kicking a field goal because the distance that field goal kickers are making have increased substantially. Now, they could have potentially...
Isn't that an argument for punting?
Well, but they could have kicked a field goal there, too, potentially, because their kicker is, I think he's 3 for 4 from 50 plus, and his long of 61. So he's actually had a pretty high success rate. So that you could potentially go that way, too. And in this scenario, he threw to their best offensive player, one-on-one with post-safety defense. And really, this should be pass interference. If you look at the end of this, the defensive back never turns around. You have to turn back to play the ball.
But he doesn't hit the player.
But he hits the player before the ball ever gets there. He runs into him with he doesn't even have his watch. Right there, he's making contact with the receiver without looking back.
More, I don't know.
But it's the defensive back's responsibility to look back for the ball. So that could have easily been called for pass interference. I would have probably thrown the speed out versus off coverage here. But they went isolated one-on-one, took a shot.
Hold on. Please, Coach, be honest with me here. You would not have thrown the speed out because if you were in charge, you would have punted the ball.
Yeah, look, I probably would have.
Yes, okay.
But this play right here should have, I think, worst case scenario, been pass interference.
Well, AJ's got to play through him.
And if he had hit this, the whole world would be like, what a great job going out to win. The narrative is always based on whether the play succeeds or fails. And you might have been one of the few people who would have said this was a poor decision. If this had hit or been a pass interference, 90% of people talking about the game would have been like, yeah, that's great that he was willing to go close out the game. That shows,
I do agree with that.
All the same narrative that you hear when a play works.
Right, had it worked, it would have been like, look at his aggressiveness, his guts and all that. That's what makes Sirianni different. I get it. I would have either kicked a field goal or punt. It's still
I think a field goal would have been
long
crazier.
Field goal. I don't think it would have been crazier than that, but I think it's still a long field goal. So I probably would have punted it. But I get that the defense knows let's not intercept it. But like you alluded to earlier, a lot of players would forget that. And so I'm not sure Sirianni wasn't thinking, let's go deep. If it pops, great. At worst, they may intercept it, and then it's like an arm punt. I don't doubt that he might have thought that, too.
But do you guys also not see the volume of contact before the ball
Coach, I think
Brown?
I think that is...
No, I mean, the DB isn't looking back
the
at all.
The DB's not looking back, but
and
he also
literally engaged with A.J. Brown before it happens.
I mean,
underthrown.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the only way you get that call is if you play through the DB, and A.J. Brown didn't do it.
If I was a referee, like 4th and 6, I'm not throwing this flag.
Well, this is a sidebar. The underthrown pass leading to DPI, of all the rules they want to adjust in the offseason, one of them will be the tush push, thanks to plays like this from yesterday, or not this, but the one again yesterday. Coach is here, so I have to do my weekly. They got away with another false start on the tush push comment. I mean, it was really bad.
Green Bay got called out.
It's been weird. They call everybody.
So that's what I was.
That was one of the first times last night where I was like, all right, I
Dust, can we play the two false starts instead of this for a second? I wish the NFL would address how punitive should DPI on an underthrown ball be?
Because it's a strategy.
It could be a strategy.
Or like you can make the call.
Yeah, and so this, somehow, they get away with it. And that live, by the way, you could see.
That one looked bad.
That one was bad. And then Green Bay is like, we have a 4th and inches. That one they see.
Isn't as bad.
Not nearly as bad.
I
mean, it's mad. No, you could see it, but it wasn't. It's just maddening to see the juxtaposition of, if you try to run a real football play, you better have. Green Bay popped a big play, and it's like, no, sorry. The guy who declared eligible was covered up on the line of scrimmage. If you want to run a real football play, everything's got to be perfect.
Like
you got to be perfect. Yeah.
Teammates, like, what are you doing?
But if you want to run that rugby play, it's just no holds barred.
Unofficial bowl.
Yeah.
Bowl. Coming up next, a fresh special edition of Brou's Ballot.
Ooh.
Can't wait for this.
A lot of changes.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Not really.
Oh.
Some.
Okay.
Lieutenant Colonel Steve Stone Cold Austin, 42nd Regional Support Group, currently deployed in the Middle East. Go Ravens, this is our year.
Yeah, it is. We are so back, Steve Austin.
Happy Veterans Day
Absolutely.
to everyone. Chiefs Broncos this Sunday. Now in Vegas, Brou, Patrick Mahomes has the third best MVP odds.
Coach wants him down on the mound.
But let's see if that's reflected in this week's edition of Brou's Ballot.
This will be a great one.
Well, look, remember, Vegas is projected.
Yeah, that's correct.
So Mahomes is not third right now. But at number 5, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Now, I was seriously debating, Coach, between him and Darnold. But I went with Jigba. He is no longer on pace for 2,000 yards receiving. It's close enough, but he still is on pace to break the all-time record of Calvin Johnson by 3 yards.
And he's barely off pace for 2,000.
Yeah. He's he's on pace for like 1,960.
One big throwaway, baby.
Yeah.
Right. So he's at number 5. Number 4, Jared Goff. This might be his first time on the ballot, if I'm not mistaken. But he's the second or one of 2 quarterbacks that have 20 or more touchdowns. Stafford's got 25. He's got 20, and he's only got 3 picks. Second in the league in passer rating as well. He's been flying under the radar.
A little bit.
But as the season plays out, your overall statistics become more of a factor. His are great. All right, at number 3, running back Jonathan Taylor.
Love it.
Hey, he's on pace for not 2,000, but close. And he's had 4 games. He had his 4th game Sunday with 3 or more touchdowns, or with 3 touchdowns rushing. That's huge. He clearly, you watch that team.
How many total touchdowns does he have or rushing? Do you know?
I don't know the total offhand, but he's had 3. He's on pace to challenge the record.
That's what I was going to say, because nobody has come close to LaDainian's touchdown record since he set it. Like it's 31 by LaDainian, and no one's come within like 5 of it since he set it.
Seems like a great guy and a great team.
Yeah,
too.
no.
And he's at 17 total touchdowns.
17?
Yeah.
So he's close, yeah. All right, at number 2, your boy Wilds.
Thank you.
Drake May just keeps chugging along. 2 or more touchdowns in his last 5 games.
Yeah.
5 straight. Didn't get the 100 passer rating like you had been tracking, but still had a good game and a win, obviously. And at number 1, everybody's All-American.
Wow.
Matthew Stafford. He's having a phenomenal year. There's no doubt about it. 25 touchdowns. On pace now for 47. So he's doing his thing.
This will be a real test, Rams-Seahawks, that we'll get into it later this week, but I guess I'm starting it now. It's either going to be, the Seahawks might be going to the Super Bowl, and this defense is 100% real, or Stafford takes another step closer if he shreds Seattle.
If he shreds Seattle,
it might be over.
It's never over this
too many
early.
games left. Yeah.
But so Brou, great ballot.
Thank you.
I just do my own in my head. I write it down too. Our 1, 2, 3 was the exact same. So here was the question I was in, because I had JSN 4th and Darnold 5th. As kind of like what the CMC Christian McCaffrey or CMC Brock Purdy thing a couple years ago when they both were in contention, but neither at the very top. Just because I think Darnold, to Coach's point, I do think he's been better than Goff. And I think that you looked at it probably as only going to have one Seahawk.
I have looked at it like.
And I think that's.
It's not a rule, but it's something. You got to be 2 guys that are.
It's got to be like Warner and Falk. Kurt Warner and Marshall Falk to.
And I do expect. I personally don't expect. It'd be great if he did. I don't expect JSN to stay on this pace. So I think Darnold will probably emerge more as their
all
MVP.
the Brou's ballots. Has the running back ever been in the 1 spot?
Was last week Taylor? Was it say on there last week? He was not rated?
Yeah.
I had somebody number 1.
I think you did have Jonathan Taylor number 1 a couple weeks ago.
Maybe 3 weeks ago.
I'm feeling it's a little bit like all the other MVP ballots where they get in the mix, but they never quite get in that one spot.
The NFL would be wise to take my suggestion on this. Create a Cy Young Award for quarterbacks. Call it the Tom Brady Award, whatever you want to call it. But create a quarterback award that's as prestigious as the MVP, and the MVP is whatever.
For anybody.
I think that's.
Because you're right, it has just become
a quarterback.
So it's a rich tapestry, but I do try to keep in mind
Saquon might have been
quarterbacks
in the one spot at some points last year.
And 2 weeks ago, we had Jonathan Taylor number one.
Oh, he did?
But he fell off because the Colts lost. Here's what I think is really interesting for you Wilds this week. The reason Drake May has better MVP odds than Stafford right now is because Vegas is approaching it as if the Patriots are winning their division and Stafford might be a wild card. If Stafford wins this week and they over Seattle and they get a firm hold on the division, I think Stafford, no matter what, leaps over Drake May. If the Seahawks win, almost no matter how Drake plays, I think he might be the Vegas favorite for MVP next week.
I'm uneasy.
Well, you should be. Also, that guy
the
over here,
favorite.
that guy who's in third in Vegas right now is going to be on national TV against an allegedly great defense. And
we'll see.
Well, yeah, I mean, he'll have a
nervous
chance.
about that defense.
He'll have a chance to make a statement.
Yeah,
That'll be good.
Yeah.
All those other things.
Coming up next, Nico Harrison fired. What's next for Cooper Flagg and the Mavs? We discuss next on First Things First. Really great move. Live from New York, the Skillets wishing you a very happy Veterans Day. It's First Things First. Overtime on today's show. Did the Bills, lost to the Dolphins, also lose them a spot in Danny's Top 10? It is Top 10 Tuesday. That's coming up in about 17 minutes. Meanwhile, Joe Burrow.
Won?
They were number
last week?
Yeah. Joe Burrow's back and talking playoffs. How optimistic should we all
Brou
be?
just talking trash off air and on the list.
But right now, love hurts.
I get it.
Eagles, Packers, Monday night with a little Thursday night vibes.
Yeah, because it was 10-7 like
0-0
Thursday
at
night.
halftime.
That is a good.
Both
that was
QBs under 200 yards. Everybody lost a fumble, but Jalen got the win. Here he is on the team victory. Take a listen.
That's a big time win. That's a big testament to our team. Defense played lights out. I feel like when there was a mishap, we had each other's backs, and that's all you can ask for. And so, I'm proud of how we competed. I'm proud of how we weathered through and persevered. I think we showed great resilience throughout this game, and that's a hell of a team we played.
You think?
Did this game say more about the Eagles or the Packers, Danny?
The Packers. Brou, I've been trying to tell you about your guy.
You don't even have him in the playoffs.
They'll make the playoffs most likely, but he's going to be the reason why they lose.
No, it wasn't good.
But and it hasn't been good. Like, he is the reason that you can't trust them, and he was again last night. And you've said it all show, and you're right. Like, if you score 13 against Cleveland, you have to win. Except he was the exact reason they lost with that interception. Yeah. If you give up 16 to Carolina, you have to win. But he was the reason they lost with the interception and could have had that pick six across the body. Then last night you give up 10. I'm not sure he's going to get it. Like, he looks skittish, happy feet, doesn't feel the rush around him. Like, you say, like, oh, that guy has, like, eyes in the back of his head. Not Jordan Love. And the number discrepancy of him in the wins and the losses is just stark. Like, it
is.
They lose because of Jordan Love. And it is just that clear and that black and white. Scoring 10 points per game in losses is just not good enough, and they'll make the playoffs. I was wrong about that. Mm-hmm. But come wild card weekend or the divisional rounds, they'll lose because of him.
Not necessarily, because the problem with Jordan, I agree with you, he is maddeningly, if I properly maddeningly.
Yeah, you
what did I say? Maddeningly inconsistent.
Yeah.
But his highs, and this is why we expect so much, or maybe you don't, but others expect more from him, because he has had long stretches of great play. And in his first playoff game, to go into Dallas when they had won 16 straight at home.
Yeah. Then what happened in the next playoff game?
Right. So, but I'm saying he may get on a hot streak in the playoffs. But I do agree that he is right now their the offense in general. Like, the offense, I'm seeing their receiving group has not been as good as I expected. So that is more of a problem than I thought. He is the number one because the offense is on the quarterback, period. But the O-line isn't giving him a lot of protection.
And it looks like Elton Jenkins is hurt bad.
Yeah,
so that's
and
gonna
that's
hurt
another.
him.
I mean, Tucker Kraft killed him when he got hurt. But Jacobs, they're not running well against light boxes. So the offense as a whole is just not been what we expected. But it's fair to put it on Love. But I just think he is up and down. He's not quite what Josh Allen was with the roller coaster, because his is more, he'll be great, then he's down for a while, but he's not turning the ball over a ton. He has critical turnovers. And the problem, and this is what you said about Allen, is he's not combating that one bad turnover a game or whatever with a couple of great offensive plays, like down the field or anything. So he's going to have to improve. There's no doubt about it, because with him playing like he has the last 2 games, they can't get to the Super Bowl.
So I want to talk about the Eagles, but I want to just revisit some of the Packers real quick. I'm surprised that you are just saying they're going to make the playoffs. Like, in this regard, Eagles are obviously in. The Bucs are obviously in division-wise, even if you don't think they're good. Whatever. Yeah. Those teams are in. We assume, all of us, I think, that Seattle and the Rams are not going to collapse and that Detroit's not going to collapse. Yep. There's 5 in. That leaves 2 spots. There is Green Bay, there is San Francisco, and there is Chicago.
Yep, and they obviously play each other twice.
Right, and so one of those teams is going to be left out. For me, at this point, San Francisco I know they're on a backup quarterback, but he's played half the season. He's played at a high enough level. I don't think their quarterback's going to kill him. So they're going to be in the mix. To me, Chicago's but I'm just saying, Green Bay should make the playoffs. But if you lose 3 games when you allow less than 17 points, what's going to happen the game when they lose a game where the offense does perform, but the defense has a game like it has against Dallas?
Listen, I obviously think the Bears can beat them. They beat them in Week 18 last year. They lost to them on a blocked field goal in the middle of the season last year. So those games will be tough. NFC North games are tough. Niners offense, Niners defense, Bears offense, Bears defense, Packers offense, Packers defense. I think the best unit is the Packers defense.
I agree with that.
And so that's why I think they're probably safe. It's just, he's got a $220 million contract.
Well, that's
he has to be better.
Yeah, I think he's still 8th in the league in passer rating. He's 13 touchdowns, 3 picks. There's not enough touchdowns, but the ratio is pretty good. I don't think he's been as bad as you've said, but I think he's had games as bad as you're saying. But overall, I think he's been fine, but he's got to be better in this game.
Real quick before we move on, because we just beat up on Bru's NFC Super Bowl pick. You a little worried about your Eagles offense?
You know what? Not college football. Get the win. Head back to Philadelphia. But as my 2 teams, you know what we also need to do?
Tell me.
I'm ready to revisit my Super Bowl pick at some point. Not yet. But my all-birds.
Do we do that?
Well, he wants to. I mean, here's the thing. I do think he should brew. If anyone's allowed, wild
if I wanted to go with
switching out the Patriots.
Or the Chiefs.
Yeah. No. You can only
you
do
had
it.
Chiefs, Patriots.
No. He had Ravens. He had Ravens.
I have an all-birds.
I have
Ravens, Eagles.
He wants to abandon the Ravens.
I want to kind of abandon the Ravens and also just narratively for the show. I'm just kind of
But then also KW. But
you already are a Patriot.
You also kind of want to abandon the Eagles.
No, I don't.
KW.
No,
you didn't like you.
They scored 10 points.
Yeah, you don't like that.
It'd be a reasonable time to abandon.
The 3-and-out rate is crazy.
That's not. Did you see this graphic that he put up?
I saw the graphic.
I mean, they go 3-and-out 32% of the time. It's the most in the league. They also run the ball. This is courtesy of Greg Rosenthal on NFL Daily. They run the ball on 3rd and long a higher percentage of time than any team in the last 25 years.
3rd and long.
Yeah, just give 3rd and 12. We're not even going to try to.
Oh,
so we're giving up.
That's not like a get into tush push.
Well, range. I mean, 3rd and long is 3rd and more than 7, so that would be pretty optimistic. Maybe that plays a small part of it.
Yeah.
But 3rd and long, they're like, whatever, we're just going to punt. That's what teams do who have young quarterbacks and great defenses. Are like, we don't. But that's not who Jalen Hurts is. The offense is just weird.
It's very strange. I expect them a little bit to steal a storyline from Brou. I expect the offense to round into form.
Yeah,
We unfortunately are getting later in the season.
They have offensive culture, offensive DNA.
Yes, they have offensive DNA.
Yeah.
And
is it getting
I'll
late
have
early?
something to say about the Eagles in a little while.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Because
Sounds
you
good.
guys,
That's a tease.
Let's head to Dallas. Rough weekend. No. We're
Holding, that is Dallas.
yeah, that's
they
Dallas.
fired Nico
Sorry.
Harrison.
And why is my script talking about Aaron Rodgers? Got screwed up.
we didn't have any video of Nico smiling.
No.
I mean,
What's there to smile about?
me mugging everything. That's like 8 pictures.
No, that's my favorite one. We should get one happy one. All right, so obviously Nico Harrison was fired. How did the Mavs bounce back from this?
Well, they finally can start. They can finally start bouncing back. It's 282 days since they traded Luka, and we all knew within 2.8 seconds that they were going to have to fire Nico Harrison. And I think right now a lot of us are in like, what was the score of the game? Maybe we're watching NBA games when there aren't football games on, checking highlights. Like that game last night should have been an important night in Mavericks history, like for their future. Last night, Cooper Flagg tied LeBron James to be the youngest player in NBA history to have a game with more than 25 points. 18 years and 254 days old, whatever it is. And they were
So they're the same day?
To the day? To the day.
Well, it's a weird one. So the LeBron had go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but it's
to the day.
To the day,
wow.
Youngest player in NBA history to have a game where he scored more than 25, and they're chanting "Fire Nico" during the best game of Cooper Flagg's career. And Patrick Dumont, the new governor, owner, whatever they're calling him, this was mid-game.
Right.
He's talking to a guy in a Luka Lakers jersey. Like
this was probably set up too, because that kid flipped him off.
Flipped him off.
And it was
I don't
like
know
an
if I
apology.
believe. I'm not sure.
I
think the reporting around that was a little
Okay.
Well,
light.
Picture's worth 1,000 words. Like it was just, it cast a pall over everything. Like the Cooper Flagg era hasn't felt like it could really begin until they fired Nico Harrison, and now they've done that.
I hear you, and I don't disagree with a lot of that. I do, and Cooper, I think, is going to be a great player.
So do I.
I really do. I do think had he come in and just, which is unrealistic to be honest, but had he come in and just taken the league by storm and averaging 20 points right now instead of 15, maybe you would have felt this could start, it could start with Nico. But the bottom line is to move on. They need to look at trading Anthony Davis. He's played 14 of the 44 games there. See if you can find a team that's that feels like it's close, that AD could get us over the hump. And then I also think you probably got to look to try to trade Kyrie.
Definitively. But Kyrie's going to be tough because I think he needs to somehow come back before the deadline.
Prove that he's healthy.
Right. And I don't know that he's going to be healthy
right.
before the deadline. So that might be more of an offseason thing. But they smartly went all in on the Luka era and then idiotically traded Luka, which is why 2027, their first-round pick goes to Charlotte. 2028, they swap with the Thunder. 2029, they swap with the Rockets. And 2030, they give their pick in 2029 to the Rockets. They don't swap. And in 2030, they swap with the Spurs. So they have to, Brou, I agree, recoup draft capital. But they also, after this, they have their own pick this year. They are not incentivized to be bad. They don't get any benefit for being bad. So they're in a very weird spot. And there was a lot of, in my opinion, idiotic conspiracies surrounding this trade.
Correct.
When the Occam's razor answer was Nico was just wrong. Nico didn't like him. Nico didn't believe in him. Nico got big-brained on it and, kind of hubris killed him on it. Here, this is not a conspiracy, but this is something that I think, when I look back on it, I'm like, I wonder if that's what should have happened. One of the most controversial things David Stern ever did was veto a trade.
I mean, this
and
he
say,
was working as
I understand.
owner.
It was
Yeah,
different.
he
It was
owner for that
different.
team.
But the commissioner of pro leagues have wide berth. You know what I mean? And if there was ever a time for someone to be like, no, you can't do that you can't do that. Or at the very least, I'm leaking your thinking about doing it and giving you more time.
That's
the
most
commissioner
shocking
can't.
thing.
You can't stop.
It would
a
be
team
huge
from making
overreach.
a trade. I mean, and to be honest,
For the betterment of the league.
if I'm the league, though,
the league wants
Luka's
him
in
in,
LA
I
now. So I
understand.
mean, I'm cool with that.
But you just I don't know. It feels torturous to the fan base. It just feels torturous to the fan base.
There's and Luka didn't have a no trade.
No, he wasn't even eligible to get one. No. You have to be in the league. Get a no trade in the NBA is very hard. You have to be in the league like 10 years. You have to be with the same team long enough. Right. Like very few guys have it.
It's weird that so few people have it.
Bron has it. Beal has it. Yeah, or had it. Yeah.
If I was an agent, I'd get you a no trade.
I should have come up with that. Adam Silver should have vetoed that trade 8 months ago.
No, but you know, it's still. It
debuted on the OT. I like it.
It was pretty good. Aaron Rodgers had a rough weekend for the Steelers. He scored points for the Chargers here. Did his play drop Pittsburgh from Danny's top 10? Let's find out on Top 10 Tuesday.
It absolutely did. Steelers on the outside looking in, but welcome back,
of course,
to my Los Angeles Chargers. Now, normally, I don't want to put up a tweet with too much information, but I feel like I haven't totally sold you on just how rough a situation Justin Herbert is in. So from Daniel Popper, the beat reporter for the Chargers for The Athletic, he had less than 2.25 seconds time to throw.
I can't remember what this
means. I'm going to explain it to you. You can follow. You're a smart guy.
Number 9.
Less than 2.25 seconds to throw against Pittsburgh. Only happened 5 times this year. Look at the pressure percentages in those scenarios. Because if you're throwing in less than 2.25 seconds, I got to
tell you, Danny,
Herbert still was pressured 42% of the time. That's how bad the offensive line is.
Okay, I got to tell you, if you thought you didn't convince me on Herbert yesterday, this stupid tweet that I don't understand that I'm reading
You're not trying to understand it.
I wish you only had 2.25 seconds to explain it. We should be moving on.
Here's the thing, America. I knew this wasn't going to work, and I did it anyway.
Okay, well, don't do that again.
No, I did it anyway because that tells you how good Justin Herbert is. Number 9, the Colts. Okay. This one will be simpler. It's just counting stats, all right? Okay. Felt like we should give.
This is again becoming. Can I stop down real quick? What? This is trying to become an adversarial segment. Let's just have a reset. Let's have a reset. Okay, Danny,
Nick
number
was
9.
Defense.
I know you were starting.
All right. Truce. Peace offering. Counting stats. Jonathan Taylor. He's outpacing Saquon Barkley last year.
All right, that's good.
There we go.
I get it. I understand.
11:30.
That
I
is
don't
amazing.
need an abacus and an eyeglass.
I had him obviously on my ballot, but it felt like it felt like Saquon was like last year was just having this season like we've never seen.
We talked about Saquon every week, A-block story through 10
Look
games.
at the touchdown.
Jonathan Taylor is smoking Saquon Barkley's production from last year. Number
What's
8.
his tackles for loss?
Yeah, and what's his time before
Yard contact? Great stat.
You know how we know Jonathan Taylor's awesome? You put up touchdowns and yards.
Yeah.
You know how we know you're reaching for Justin Herbert? We got this weird 2.25 second and a pressure percentage.
Sorry,
again.
Let's reset.
Sorry, Danny. I apologize on Nick's behalf.
This one should be pretty straightforward. I got no great stats for you here other than the Patriots are really good. And Trevion Henderson looked like he did in the preseason. And they've been a top 5 rushing team the last 4 weeks. That's going to help Drake May take less sacks if he can just turn around and hand it off to a rookie. Nice young core there with Drake May and Henderson for the Patriots. Number 7, Brou, I'm kind of borrowing from the Bud list. Oh. I want this to be motivational for the Buffalo Bills, my Super Bowl pick. This is the lowest I've had them all year by far. I went back and checked. They've never been lower than 4th this year. The 2-game losing streak, the no impressive wins, the spike in turnovers, but that was just a terrible loss to Miami. I expect them to get back up. I still think they can win the Super Bowl. I still think their best is as good as anyone in the NFL.
Knocked you out of the circa millions too, huh?
A little bit of resentfulness there. Lost my shot at $18.7 million. Yeah. Not bitter at all, Buffalo. Great job. The Detroit Lions come in at number 6. I don't think it was that brave of Dan Campbell to take over play calling against Washington, but Jared Goff is having a year where he's on pace for his best touchdown to interception ratio and best passer rating and the most passing touchdowns of his career.
And best finish on Bru's Ballot ever.
I think that's really what he's gunning for this year. But their offense is as scary as any team in football. Coming in at number 5.
I thought we were all kind. I thought we were
You get a free one now.
being nice.
You get a free one, bro. You get a free one.
Ravens defense proving right on this.
This makes up for it.
Well, they're back.
already got them up to 5.
Your defense is back.
All right.
They're allowing 14.5 points per game their last 4. Lamar's amazing. It feels to me like a 5-game win streak is inevitable. Their next 3 are at home. Their next 2 are against tomato cans. Then we get to see them maybe against Joe Burrow, then against Pittsburgh, then it gets real. But they'll be 6-5 in short order. At number 4, the Chiefs. This is as much respect as I can possibly give to a 5-4 football team. Simmons back, that's great. Their protection numbers have been great when Simmons was there. But Andy Reid's amazing out of the bye, the best ever. You lose to Denver, all bets are off on where they'll be next week in Top 10 Tuesday.
Maybe they drop all the way to 5, where you have a 4-5 football team. It's not a ton of respect. I mean,
it's a ton of respect to the Chiefs. Coming in at number 3, the Philadelphia Eagles. They have the most impressive this year resume. If we just did quality of your wins.
Thank you.
Really, I don't think they're the best team. The eye test tells me that they don't look that impressive. But if it's not the standings, but if it's just who have you beaten? Oh, you beat the Bucs, and you beat the Cowboys, and you beat the Rams, and you beat the Chiefs, and you beat the Packers, and they're the defending champs. It's like, oh, their problems are probably a little overstated. Coming in at number 2, the Seattle Seahawks. And this was a fun exercise. Here's a list of things that Seattle is ranked in the top 10 this year in the NFL. It's a lot of categories on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. Don't want to put up too much information there for you. I know it can be a little bit overwhelming for you. So let's just move on real quick to the number 1 team, the Los Angeles Rams. They come in at number 1, which sets up the great meeting this week with a list of the things that the Rams are top 10 in the NFL. Wow. So winner of this game, spoiler alert for next Tuesday, gets the top spot. They've been dominant this year.
I got the Eagles as the best team in the league. I mean, I know you guys didn't like what you saw last night, but that was a gutsy, gritty win, I thought. And you said it. They got the best resume. I mean, the Chiefs, the Rams, and even their strength of schedule as far as their wins is number 1 in the league as far as the teams they've beaten. So it's ugly. It's not fun to watch at times, but they have beaten the better teams than anybody in the league.
Eagles point differential, though, 13th in the NFL.
Yeah, it don't look great. But.
Sounds a lot like the Bucs, who aren't even on the top 10. You listed the Bucs as one of the Eagles' great wins. The Bucs have beaten Seattle, who's in your top 10.
I just listed it as a win.
And somehow the Bucs aren't there. But and I think they're better than the Chargers, but I want to argue the Chargers are about to put up a tablet from Egypt to explain to me why I don't understand how great Justin Herbert is. I want Wilds to go.
Look, I know that you're pot committed with Buffalo.
You've seen rounders, poker term.
But I don't know the argument that that why the Bills are better than the Patriots.
Because they lost to them heads up.
Well,
but why are the Bills? No, why do you have the Bills better than the Patriots? I'm saying.
I want to see the Patriots do it against Buffalo again. I'll be honest.
Again?
Yeah, it's
a sweep.
Yeah, they got a sweep.
They got a sweep.
They got a sweep.
Okay.
Say it's a.
They're not going.
It's the top 10 teams according to Danny.
Okay.
I don't know.
He has no reason. He had no reason.
Sweep.
I believe it's not the standings. I believe that Buffalo is better than New England and ultimately will be better than them this year. Their record might not be better.
But I think Wilds is asking right now, this moment, what is Buffalo better at?
I don't know. It used to be like we're the up and coming team, but now I think we have catapulted over the Bills, and it used to be like, well, Josh, but now Drake is playing so amazing. I feel like the Bills, I rolled out reputational momentum. I'll buy that if that's the answer. Like, we're just, you haven't seen it in the playoffs.
That's where it is. They were 1 last week. They had a terrible loss to Miami. They're 9 days removed from thoroughly beating the Chiefs. This was as low as I felt like I could drop them.
It's the Chiefs win. It's the Chiefs win.
Which that has some value.
It is their Super Bowl.
They're a different team against the Chiefs, so that's the weird part. Burrow is talking playoffs. Something. That's next on Overtime.
What's poppin', Bears Nation? Spencer Locke, co-pilot, RC-135. Proud to serve at Offutt Air Force Base, Nebraska. Like any other good Chicago suburban, all I want for Christmas this year is some shredded cheese. Bear down, baby!
Thank you, Spencer, and go Bears, and a happy Veterans Day to all who served, Danny Parkins, Coach Mangini, and Willie Colon. And gentlemen, just wanted to take an opportunity to recognize some of the veterans in our life. Wanted to give a shout out to one of my oldest friends, Sergeant First Class Martell Bowen. Marty was the first guy, one of the first people to be nice to me when I moved to a new town in 3rd grade. Still in the same friend group. Terrible fantasy football player, but a great guy. 3 deployments, Iraq, Afghanistan, and Kosovo. There he is, meeting and honoring a WW2 vet. So just wanted to say thank you, Marty, for all that you do. Coach?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to my dad, Carmen Mangini, who's a proud member of the Navy and served on a destroyer during the Korean War. I had a chance to go to Afghanistan on a USO trip, and I can't tell you how blown away I was by the character and the courage and the sacrifice of all the men and women that serve. So thank you.
Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, I want to shout out my big cousin. I know he's gonna pop up right there on the left there, Specialist Melvin Ware, and my awesome little cousin, Deanna Numa, who's actually the proud wife of Quincy Numa. Little tidbit for you there. No, thank you for your service. These two mean the world to me and everything they've been able to sacrifice, and they're happy they're home, living productive lives, and I love them dearly.
We thank all of those who serve and wish you a happy Veterans Day. We'll get back to football here and go to Cincinnati, where Joe Burrow is stretching. He's back at practice, injecting a little bit of hope for Bengals fans. They're 3-6, though, 3rd in the AFC North. But Joe Burrow said that anyone can still take that division. They're still in the race, and he believes. Take a listen.
Yeah, our division is wide open. There's a lot of, I think Pittsburgh's 5-4 at this point. We play them this week. So, everything is still there in front of us. It's very rare that our division looks like this, but it does this year. And so, I think we'll be at least in it until the end.
I respect the leadership. I think the message is correct, but Burrow can't save a team that's terrible defensively, which is exactly what they were last year. Mm-hmm. They're 1 game away from setting the Super Bowl era record for 9 straight games of allowing 27 or more points. Joe Burrow doesn't rush the passer, so I admire it. Flacco's been good. This isn't Jake Browning, so I don't think he can save the season, Coach.
Yeah, he is absolutely right. The division is wide open. It's just not wide open for them. And when you look at the last 3 games, they scored 42 points, they scored 38 points, and they scored 33 points. So that's an average of 37. So what's Joe going to come back and get him another field goal, and they're going to score 40 every game? When you're scoring at that type of rate, but you're dead last in yards, you're dead last in points, you're dead last in rush yards, you're 30th in passing yards, you're 29th in sacks, and you're 25th in takeaways, it's just too hard. And you said it, Denny. Joe Flacco's been really good. They've been extremely productive, and they've still found ways to win. So it's hard to. I like his optimism too, but it seems a little misplaced.
Yeah, I think we're all in the same boat, but I would ask the Bengals, do they care about their future, right? Because if you put them out there, you have a gimpy quarterback there, you're expecting to win 4 games in the next 4 have 4 wins in the next 5 games. I mean, that's a lot. You're talking about a bad defense, a gimpy quarterback, trying to take on a Herculean effort. But the defense right now, as we all just say, can't stop a cold. I think it's impossible. So I love his optimism. I just don't see it happening.
Flacco's been great. And it does beg the question of, like, how plug and play is that offense? Not that you would move on from Joe Burrow, because he can be your answer for the next decade. Flacco is not your answer for the next decade. But just the resources that they've used on the offensive side of the ball, just completely forgetting about defense.
Yeah, you would be so much more optimistic if Flacco had gone in and done poorly, and you're thinking, oh, okay, now we get Joe Burrow back and he can really utilize his weapons. But it just hasn't been the case.
Well, you were optimistic if the defense can step up. You know, like you mentioned, Burrow can't tackle. He can't cover. All he does is play quarterback. And when you talk
the last touchdown against the Bears was just horrendous.
Right, but if you're Joe Burrow, do you want to come back to that? I mean, you're putting up numbers.
Well, I think he does, right? I mean, football players play. Like, I think he'll come back if they lose the next two. But I think he'll come back.
But this is the same team that suited up and tried to make a run last year. You know what I mean? This is the same. Like, nothing's changed from what we saw this team look like last year.
Listen, it's probably going to be Baltimore's division. Like, they all have to just kind of admit it.
Don't count up my Steelers. I understand we're going through a little muddy patch right now.
They're on the ropes.
It's okay. I mean, that's, we've been there before.
I've counted yes. Let's go right here to New York as Brian Daboll fired yesterday as the Bills head coach. Sean McDermott, his old pal, was asked about a possible reunion with his former offensive coordinator and Brian Daboll. McDermott, well, he addressed it pretty directly. Take a listen.
I understand why you're asking that. Brian's a great coach. Unfortunate to see that happen to him. At this point, that's not under any type of consideration. We've got a really good offensive staff. They've had really good games. You're gonna have some games you want back, some play calls you want back. Those happen. So it's how you respond to them, and I'm fully confident in our offensive staff, and Joe is our leader.
I get the connecting of the dots, Coach, but what's your reaction to this speculation?
I don't know why Brian would want to do it right now. If anything, he should take a little time to decompress, spend some time with his family, enjoy a very well-paid vacation, and reload for next year. But if he does want to do it, Buffalo makes sense because he's from Buffalo. He loves the city. He's got a relationship. And Brian's not the type of guy that goes in and disrupts a staff. That's not how he's wired. Worked with him in New England. He was my quarterback coach at the Jets. He was my offensive coordinator at the Browns. He's just not that type of guy. He'd be an asset to any staff should he want to do that. If Buffalo didn't want to do that, that's fine. And let's say Brian wanted to continue to work. New England's a very attractive place. He and Josh McDaniels have a long working relationship. He was there and coached Vrabel as well. He'd be a huge asset for them also. Or just sit and wait and see if there's a team that's got a chance to make a Super Bowl run and hop on that train.
Yeah, I think for this situation right here, I think if you're the Buffalo Bills, first of all, I thank Sean McDermott for really saying, hey, Joe Brady is our guy. We're going to kind of keep things running. But this isn't about nostalgia. This is about the Buffalo Bills looking for solutions, right? When you lose a game like you lost to the Dolphins, you start to question everything you've done this far because, like I stated yesterday, this should have been a team that should have rolled the Dolphins even with their B game. That didn't happen. And I also think right now Keenan Coleman has been a real big disappointment for them because they can't stretch the field and they have nothing working for them down the field. And so now you're asking Josh Allen and James Cook and his tight end core to really make hay, and they've struggled. And so I think they're just looking for solutions. I don't think Brian Daboll is the solution. I don't think he would be a distraction right now, but I think you will undermine what Joe Brady has built thus far with the Bills.
So you're right about the explosive play rate, like that the quick strikes. That part has regressed for Buffalo. That's undeniable. But Buffalo's offense has been good. Like, it just has been. And it was excellent last year. These are some of their ranks this year. They're first in rushing, second in total yards, fifth on third down, sixth in scoring, seventh in the red zone, ninth in turnovers, 12th in passing. Like, the idea that, like, the problem in Buffalo right now is Joe Brady and Josh Allen's offense.
But it wasn't
sure.
Yeah.
But, like, I'd be much more worried if I was Sean McDermott than I was Joe Brady. Like, the problem is
in what regard?
The problem is the Bills' defense.
Yeah.
Their defense has been a much bigger part of their inconsistency this year than their offense.
I'd say the one concern that I have is Josh Allen. All we talked about last year was the fact that he was able to fix the turnover problem, and here we are this year, and it's not really a serious problem, but he's almost at the same number of turnovers at this point as he had all of last season. So I don't think that's the sole reason, but that is a cause for
But it's
concern.
all the turnovers are happening when they need it most. That's the problem, right? Like, I think he's trying his best to kind of subdue some of that, but they're happening in a situation of football where you got to have it, and he's fumbling the ball.
Packers lost last night, and all of a sudden Matt LaFleur's on the hot seat. Tough times in the not-for-long week. Time now for Willie's favorite segment of the week. Little He Said, We Said. Best sound from the weekend across the NFL. We begin, as we always do, with the best from Monday Night Football. Here's head coach Matt LaFleur. Gentlemen, take a listen.
With the way things have gone this season, do you think you're coaching for your job?
I'm not. I'll leave that for everybody else to decide. I'll just focus on the day-to-day and trying to do. I feel like you're always coaching for everything in this league. You know, that's just my mindset. It's always been that way. You know, you can't ever exhale. You got to always be pushing, and that's just my mindset. So, and that will be my mindset until they tell me not to coach anymore.
This one took me by complete surprise. What? It did. Now, I know that you're getting hired to get fired for all of these jobs. Coach, you know it better than anyone.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers was on the decline, and then Matt LaFleur got there and he won a couple of MVPs. And then Jordan Love was, the 26th pick in the draft?
Yeah.
And immediately came in and was good enough to get $220 million? Like, general rule of thumb, if when you get fired, 25 teams would want to hire you to join their staff, which is what would happen if Matt LaFleur got fired, I'm not sure it's a good idea to fire. Get a little bit more creative, pass more than run, fix the running game on first down, pass more than run on first down. But, firing Matt LaFleur strikes me as crazy, Coach.
Well, if Aaron Rodgers played anywhere like he played for those first few years with Matt LaFleur, the Jets would be really happy right now. The Steelers would be really happy right now. So he had a home run there. And then with Jordan Love, he did sit for a long time before he played. But this is also the effect of the Micah Parsons trade. When you trade for a guy like Micah Parsons, expectations change. With Jordan Love, when you pay him all that money, expectations change. So he is on a different timetable. And I'd say the dramatic losses that they've had, where you lose to Carolina when you're a 14-point favorite, you lose to Cleveland, that was another significant, that was 10, 12-point favorite, and then you tie the Cowboys, which nobody expected. Those losses really sting, especially in light of losing last night and not being able to do much offensively.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dan. We all need to breathe. I mean, LaFleur has had 3 13-win seasons. Last night was indicative to just penalties, lack of execution. It's not a deficiency problem right now. You know, they have to be better in situational football. You needed the fourth one, you didn't get it. But overall, when we talk about this team, I mean, they lost to the Super Bowl champs. They didn't lose to anybody, right? So we gotta breathe a little bit.
But it's losing to the Super Bowl champs after you lost to Carolina and Cleveland and tied Dallas. I think it's the combination of those two things.
But they also held the Eagles to 10 points. You know what I'm saying? So this,
but they scored 7.
Right, but it's due to lack of execution, not deficiency. I would be worried if we were deficient across the roster and we're looking at things like where we feel like we have to wait to the end of the season to fix. Everything that happened last night is fixable.
Right, but the GM, he's safe. The head coach, when there's deficiencies, everybody said, that's your fault. Because that's really what it is. If you feel like you have all the talent in the world and they're not producing, then you look to the head coach and say, okay, we might need something different. I'm not advocating firing coaches.
I'm kind of shocked. Sounds like you are.
Like you were looking for
I'm just saying I know how this movie plays out.
This is a man who's seen a firing or two in the NFL. Let's stay in the NFC North. Dan Campbell took over play calling against Washington. They put up a 40-burger. Take a listen.
Look, when you're the head coach and you know how you want it to look, it's one thing to kind of say how you want it to look, but until it's hard to crawl into my head, right? And you have your own vision for it. And I just know I have a good feel of our players, and I know what we're capable of. I know what they're capable of. And so, I don't know. That's the best way to say it.
When you hear that, Coach, what do you make of it?
I agree 100%. And this is the challenge of bringing new coordinators. And I work with Johnny Morton. Johnny Morton is a good offensive coordinator, and he's trying to do what the head coach wants, but sometimes it doesn't connect right away, and it may take longer. So as a head coach, that's your job. If you're not getting what you want, then you go and you make sure that it happens. And in this case, he took over play calling, because at the end of the day, it's his ultimate responsibility. So if you have that responsibility, you also have the right to make sure that you're getting exactly what you want from all the coordinators, all the coaches, and the expectations from the players.
Yeah, I love when a captain captains a ship, right? I think when they lost to the Vikings, I'm pretty sure he wanted to make that move in Minnesota, but he's like, man, I'm not going to step on the OC's toes. I'm going to let it happen. Then he watches this team go against Commanders, and things is kind of stale. He goes, all right, I got to do what a captain needs to do and right the ship, and he did. Goff goes off, Gibbs goes off, and they get out the building, and everything looks fine and right. I think they're wrapped around the identity that the Detroit Lions, when they roll on the field, they're going to beat you up, score points, and get W's. And if they're not on track with that, with the way the division is panning out, then they got to do something, and he did something, so I respect it.
Boomer Esiason once called me a NARP, a non-athletic regular person. And this is
directly at you?
Yeah, at me on an old radio show. This is maybe a NARPian take. Do you think Johnny Morton is rooting for the Lions to put up a big number against Philly? Because Dan Campbell took over play calling against Washington. Yep. Washington is the second worst defense in points allowed in the NFL. My guess is Johnny Morton would have hung a big number against Washington if he was calling the plays. Now they play a Philly team that just held Green Bay to 7. Like, if Dan Campbell puts up 30+ against Philly, that's not a very good reflection on Johnny Morton.
It may not be, but there's a lot of head coaches that would have fired the coordinator. And so I have a lot of respect for the fact that he didn't fire him, and maybe it doesn't look like he wants it to right now, but he can call the plays, they can continue to work together, and maybe it reverts back at some later point. So I do respect the fact that he's sticking with him.
Non-athletic regular person. It stung a little bit, but it was true.
That does hurt.
Yeah. I mean, come on. To Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield talked about what's been missing from the offense. Take a listen.
We're a good team, but to be great, when you score on the opening drive, you know what it looks like. You set the tone. You're not satisfied with it. You come back, in your head it's 0-0, and you go do it again. And right now, I think we're lacking that on offense, and it comes down to me. That's my job to get that fixed, and I will do that.
Lacking in terms of hunger?
Killer instinct.
Pretty powerful stuff from Baker Mayfield. What'd you make of it, Willie?
Yeah, he's right. I mean, this isn't the same team we saw go up in Seattle and win a shootout against Sam Darnold and the Seahawks. I got a graphic right now to show you how they've been playing on offense right now, and it's not good. You talk about on third down, they've been insufficient. I don't know if we're going to pop it up. There we go right there. I mean, look at this. On third down, 30%. I mean, even in the red zone, I thought they were better than that. They're not. You're talking about the end of fourth quarter. I mean, they're just not getting it done. So when you talk about Baker Mayfield saying, hey, man, we need to be better, especially on my side of the ball, he's 100% right. This is what leaders do. They call out the elephant in the room, and they hopefully correct it. They got a lot of ball left, but they got to get it done soon.
Yeah, I don't love the vagueness of killer instinct because it does have implications. Who's he calling out? Is he calling out the head coach? The head coach isn't giving him the green light to keep attacking. Is he calling out the offensive coordinator? Is he not doing that? So that's a little bit too vague and creates unnecessary friction. I think you should stick with the specifics of what you can get better as opposed to just throwing out, vague terms.
It'll help when Bucky Irving comes back. Godwin would help.
Yep.
Offensive line staying healthy would help. We'll see if Evans ever comes back. I think they're going to.
I think Evans is done.
Yeah, right. But you overcome all of these things. Like Ibuka's a great story, but he's still a rookie. It's a lot that he was not supposed to be the number one option for them on offense, which is what he's been. So you get some of these guys back. I think that the personnel comes back, that might help the killer instinct. Chicken or egg.
I think when Baker turned on the film, he looked at the Patriots look hungrier and more ready for the fight than the Bucs did, and that's why he's salty about it.
And that was the Bucs at home.
Exactly.
Off a bye. Best moment, or at least the funniest, of Week 10 coming up on FTF.
Happy Veterans Day, America. I'm U.S. Army Sergeant Evan Anderson, currently deployed overseas with the 130th Field Artillery Brigade. We just wanted to say from halfway across the world, we appreciate all the love and support back home on the home front. Look forward to being back with all you. In the meantime, thank you for the support and what we do. Happy Veterans Day.
Time now for a nice edition of Did You Catch That? And yes, a happy Veterans Day. Thank you, Sergeant. Seamless transition by me.
Yep, perfect.
Sneakiest moment of the weekend. Flashback to Week 9. Coach, Rico Daboll scores on the Packers, does the Key and Peele, the double pump celebration. I thought you could do it. Then he gets fined $15K, Rico Dowdle learned his lesson, legitimately started a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
You know, it's a learning lesson.
Did everybody contribute? Do you know if that
Keegan-Michael, he got a $15,000 donation. He
did.
He zoomed in to the Panthers team meeting. Him and his wife made a $15,000 donation. But go back to this Sunday, Rico Dowdle, he's learning lessons. He went from multiple pumps to 0 pumps. And Aaron Jones on the Vikings also learned his lesson and did 0 pumps. So
you can't stop pumping them.
That's what I'm saying.
You got to keep pumping.
You don't want to get fined for pumping. Coach, that's what you always say.
Yeah, that's the starting point of every meeting.
Every meeting. You gotta
right off the bat, we have to clarify that
pumps.
element of it.
One.